Welcome to the Pyramidical Podcast, episode 16.
Episode 16,
I'm
Pyramidical
Brandon.
Podcast.
I'm Brandon. This is John.
I'm John. That's Brandon.
Yep. Just two guys talking. We just talk about different stuff. We kind of focus on some kind of like spiritual, paranormal, historical stuff. We do book reviews. John is making a movie. He's an artist, making his own movie. So he's busy doing that. He's got all kinds of cool stuff. And we're just here to just like, I don't know, show off our cool stuff in a way, but also have guests on. We have some cool guests on and stuff. So getting the word out there.
So I got these butterbeer peeps today.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Butterbeer peeps.
That's exciting.
Some people don't care for peeps. Some people hate peeps.
I love it.
Remember Peeps Pepsi?
You have that? No way.
Well, I'm not going to open this one. This is one I'm not opening, but it's a weird crossover. So I saved the bottle. I saved one, and I bought some of these and gave them to people, and they thought, "Ugh, what? If you're giving it to me, it must be horrible." And this is before I even tasted it.
Man.
And then I tasted it, and it was not the best. And then I found out how many people hate when I was
having it. Tried some.
What?
You did try some.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, I like Peeps to an extent, especially flavored Peeps, but I'm not a fan of Pepsi. But the crossover was so weird, I had to seek it out. So of course, this is how it goes. The first week, I can't find it anywhere. The second week, I can't find it anywhere. I go online. I see it at a pretty good price. I order like a 12-pack. And then, of course, fast forward 3 months, there's piles and piles and piles of it, clearance, discounted to freaking 10 cents a can, and nobody wants it.
Mm-hmm.
So I should have just waited.
Yeah, sometimes you can't wait with stuff like that. Like somebody, I'm not going to say, I don't know. You did. I don't know if you shared it or not, but Kyle McLaughlin was doing a signing of his autobiography or memoir that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I
did pre-order his memoir. I got it.
I hope he doesn't. I know he'll do an audio version, but that's going to be awesome. You know what I mean? The audio book, just like having Cooper. Speaking of which, I know you're doing watching Twin Peaks. How's that going?
Yeah, I'm watching Twin Peaks. I don't know what episode I'm on. I'm probably like on episode 5 or 6. I'm still in the first season, I believe. Do you know how many episodes are in each season?
I'm not an obsessed fan like some people are like that, but so I don't know off the top of my head. I've seen.
Let me see. There's 8 episodes, so yeah, I'm definitely still in season 1.
Okay.
And my memory's a little fuzzy because I was a little kid when I first saw it premiere on TV.
Wow, you even saw it on TV.
I remember my mom was watching it, so I watched it, and I literally watched it maybe 2 episodes. My memory tells me I watched it maybe 4 episodes, but when I get to the 3rd episode, I know for a fact I haven't seen any of this. I didn't get past episode 2. Now I know why. Because each episode of Twin Peaks is extremely long. Do you know how long each episode is?
No, off the top of my head, no.
We're talking, let me look it up to get the exact number. It's over an hour long per episode.
That's on ABC. This was airing, by the way, I think on ABC primetime, correct? Like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. So it was so strange when it came out. It was unlike.
Each episode is 45 to 50 minutes each.
Imagine now.
The pilot was 94 minutes. The international pilot was 116 minutes.
God, I love David Lynch.
So maybe I'm confusing the pilot's length with the other lengths, but I remember one episode was an hour and 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? This feels like
a dream.
It feels like you've already binge watched the whole season. And you're still in episode 1. It goes forever.
It is an investment. It is an investment, definitely.
It's It's a good show. I'm enjoying it. I'm starting to like it because as a kid, I watched it for a few minutes. I didn't watch for no hour straight. I probably
Mm,
watched for a few minutes and bounced, and then I came
yeah.
back and it was still on. And maybe I thought it was episode two at that point. I don't know, but
Mm.
I didn't get past two episodes.
Wow.
But
Well,
my
yeah,
parents watching it, they never got to the Black Lodge stuff. I never got to the Black Lodge stuff. And
that's what, yeah, I think you're
as
gonna
far
like.
as I know, we haven't got there yet, other than a dream. So the
Okay.
main character is it Agent Cooper?
Yes. Yep.
Agent Cooper.
Oop.
So
Yep.
Agent Cooper has had one
Agent
dream.
Dale Cooper.
So he's had one dream so far, from what I'm watching, and it does
Mhm.
show the Black Lodge in the dream. So
Mhm.
don't spoil it for me.
No, I won't.
Now I don't know if the Black Lodge is exclusively in Dream World or if there's a
Oh,
real
you'll
life
see.
Black Lodge,
Yeah.
but they're going to a One-Eyed Pete's place, and
Mhm.
I confused One-Eyed Pete's with the Black Lodge because
Okay. Well,
as someone who's never saw the whole show, of course I've been bombarded with the Black Lodge memes all over the internet.
absolutely.
So I'm
Absolutely.
familiar with the concept of the Black Lodge, and I would have to say it's pretty clear Lodge and mysterious originates from the Masons. So I'm sure he was inspired a little bit by
Yeah,
a Masonic Lodge, and then just
that's a good
turned it into
point.
his own thing for
But you know,
storytelling purposes.
but did you know? And people have really looked into this, and I can talk forever about it. But um, there's a book called The Secret History of Twin Peaks
Mm-hmm.
by Mark Frost that he put out in conjunction with The Return. And if you go into that, it's like a history book of the town, but it's so crazy and weird. And references to Aleister Crowley are in there. But anyway, so you've heard like people talk about, I'm sure, astral lodges, right? The
Yeah, I've heard of
astral
the
lodge.
concept.
So it's that is pretty much that. It,
Okay, don't tell me too
no,
much.
no, 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 no. It's not even that. It's
Pretty
more than
interesting.
that. But let's just say I think David Lynch is, as a practicing as he was transcendental meditationist, um, like
That's what Jerry Seinfeld did during the taping of his show. Obviously,
really
Seinfeld. He
didn't know.
said he said he couldn't get through the harsh production of running a show day in and day out without transcendental meditation. So Jerry
Interesting.
Seinfeld
Well,
did the exact same thing as David Lynch. That's interesting.
it, well, it originates with the Beatles,
Uh,
and
the popularization, you mean, like in pop culture?
pretty much. Well, yeah. I mean, it,
Because
it's not
they
like
just picked
John.
it up. They didn't invent it.
No, right, 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 right. But they made it very popular,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, and then it came to America, and actually, just on a personal note, um, my baby mama, parents are like super high up in the transcendental. They met in India. Um, doing,
Is there an organized? See, I don't know much about
they
it. So
think it's a science. They think it's a science. They have, the whole sell to you is that it's a science. I'll tell you this, can I go on, right? So parents-in-law, right? These in-laws. I wasn't married, but whatever. Anyway, they had a room, and it was a whole room with pillows,
mhm.
just full of pillows.
Just for the meditating process.
Yeah. Well, but for what they call cities, Sidhis, I think, something like that. Cities, which
Some
are
Indian
basically,
word. Is
huh?
that an Indian
Sanskrit.
word?
Yeah, Sanskrit. Yeah, and it
Mm-hmm.
means it's like it means powers essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But it was there, and I didn't believe them. It sounds crazy. For when they go astral, which is they say happens all the time, like not like no big deal. It's for when they return into their bodies and they
Mm-hmm.
don't get hurt from the impact. So they actually have an entire room, like bigger than this room even.
That's freaky. But I didn't know it
It's
was organized to the point where there's a hierarchy. I always thought it was some loosey,
Maharishi.
I thought it was a loosey goosey thing. So there's
Mhm.
actually like a structured religion to an extent around.
Absolutely. And they think it's a
Oh,
science. They think it's like a science. And they're like, no, 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 this isn't religion. This is science. Science proved this. They're the ones. If you ever heard of, David Wilcock and New Age people are fond of. They're hold on.
He's
Hold on.
such
They're
a
fond.
phony. David Wilcock is such a
I know.
phony. He's phony baloney.
Yeah, everyone knows that. Well, you'd think, but he often cites, and you hear this a lot. Did you know that prayer really has a scientific impact? There was a study done when people were praying for peace, and the crime rate in DC dropped.
Mhm.
And that study was conducted by a transcendental meditation with millions, millions, if not billions, of dollars in real estate and property now, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so they funded the study. Now people believe that they can, just do that, or at least the transcendental meditationers
Well,
think
I
that.
know it
Some of
is
them,
something that does exist. You can leave your body,
yeah.
but creating a
Uh,
false religion around the phenomenon it kind of reminds me of the spirit rapping and tapping religions that
mhm,
worship the spirits that can move tables, the table
yep,
turning religion. And this table turning religion is
yep,
like it started pretty much in the 1800s.
yeah.
So people were ghost hunting in the 1800s. They didn't have much else to do, you know what I mean? They
Mhm.
were doing seances, and seances were huge in the 1800s. We're talking 1800 all the
Across
way
the
through
world,
1900,
yeah.
from 1800 to 1900, and even up to the 1940s and 1950s.
Yeah.
It was a very common pastime. People from France to Canada to America
Germany,
participated in it on an entertainment level. Houdini famously debunked it,
yeah.
but Houdini does say in Arthur Conan Doyle's, or at least it's Arthur Conan Doyle relating what Houdini said, but they were good friends. They were friends. They knew each other well. They respected each other. You know, the author of Sherlock Holmes,
Of
Sir Arthur
course,
Conan Doyle, very
right?
reputable guy. He was a member of that religion to an extent where seances were his religion. But there's a table turning religion, which is even older than or I wouldn't say older, just less popular or
Mhm.
less. See, Arthur Conan Doyle, he's a celebrity, so he's doing it probably on the level where if Lady Gaga went to 100 seances, people would say, oh, that's her religion. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yeah, I
So
get that.
he probably just went to a bunch and
He
people
was,
said that's basically his religion. You know?
I did look into it a little bit because I got asked to write an article for Sherlock about Sherlock Holmes. My friend gave me, he was like the publisher of the university newspaper, and he gave me the complete Sherlock Holmes, and it's like this huge, and it was everything. Like he's the most cited person in popular culture history. It's
I have
crazy.
the book. Gotta find it. You can keep
But
talking.
he's been adapted into like everything you can imagine, right? And so like he's appearances everywhere, right? And continuously. And his popularity, everybody loves it. But it didn't, the detective story originated with Edgar Allan Poe, actually. But yeah, Conan Doyle, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, had an affinity. He lost some of his dearest people, I think, and he really believed in the afterlife, um, despite his rationalization or rational, what is it? Rationalization, he called it. It was Sherlock's way of thinking, meaning
Mhm.
you could use rationalization or something like, right? It wasn't rational like it, but it was, but it means rationalization, meaning you can deduce things from looking at your orange hat and your sunburn or something like that. I'd be able to say, "Oh, you just got back from vacation because blah 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 blah," like Sherlock does. That's how he thinks, right?
Mhm.
But on the other hand, Conan Doyle he really believed in fairies as well. You know that, like he really stuck up to him, like and kept the. So a lot of people thought that it was his way of like compensating with the loss of in the family
Mhm.
that he had and stuff. I don't
Well,
know.
here's the book I recommend. Arthur Conan Doyle's one of his autobiographies. He wrote it himself. It's called Edge
Edge
of
of
the
the Unknown.
Unknown. And
Huh.
I don't read fictional books for the most part. Although I am reading a fictional book right now. I'll get it later so I can show you. I am
Hmm.
reading the Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy, which is
Oh, that's fictional? Okay.
it's a fiction. It's 100% fiction.
I know her first book
But to
was
be
real
honest, it's not 100% fiction. She's interweaving
action, faction.
obviously
Yeah.
stuff she experienced, and she's
Masking
using
it.
for her fiction.
Kind of
Because
like Malachi Martin or something like
because
that.
I did read her first book. I'm glad
She
my
said
mom died. I did read this book. I'm glad my
that
mom died.
people love
And
that book. Yeah.
and the same vibe of this book is in her fiction book. Now, it's not that her fiction book is her pretending it's all fake just to tell more story. You use real life experience to weave and create a fictional story. I'm doing the same thing in Necktie
Absolutely.
Lumicon, my movie.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course, if I bump into a hilarious situation and it's so funny I have to turn into a scene, I'm going to do that. I mean, I'm sure Larry David did it many times with
Hmm.
Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
There's just a
Absolutely.
story
Everybody
I
does.
can't remember. I don't know the details, but I remember
Yeah.
there's someone's reading the script. I think it's Jason Alexander, George Costanza. He's reading
Yeah.
the
No.
script in Seinfeld, and he basically is playing Larry David.
Right.
It
Yeah.
took it took him a while to realize, hey, I'm just playing you. He's playing the
Oh,
guy.
really?
He's playing
Yeah,
the guy
he
who
is.
his
He
stuff.
is.
And so at one point, Jason Alexander's reading the script, and he's like, "No one would ever react this way ever." And Larry David's like, "That exact scenario happened to me. That's exactly how I reacted." And so
Yep.
the way he reacts is
I
so
love.
funny
He is so funny. He's
that he
just
puts
so.
it into his scripts, and
I I
he
was
just
an
thinks it's funny.
early
He's a funny the way he thinks. It's just obviously really,
amazing. Like
really.
when I was an early Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, right? You know, Duncan Trussell was on that show as a waiter. He had one scene, but anyway, because of Jeff Garlin. But um, I remember being on to that very like in like the first season. I was like, "What is this? Who is this guy?" Because I've never watched Seinfeld. I had no idea. To this
You
day, seen like two,
didn't. You've never watched the number one hit show TV's ever seen.
maybe every
It's
time
kind of
it's
weird because
on.
Seinfeld is numero uno. There's like everyone all day, every day quotes to me,
Never.
"The Sopranos,
Yeah, yeah,
Breaking Bad." The
yeah.
Sopranos and Breaking Bad are nothing, and
In
minuscule
terms of
piece of
success.
atom
Yeah,
specks of dust, nothing compared to Seinfeld. That's how big
good
Seinfeld
point.
was in its heyday.
Still
Number
is, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I've seen two episodes maybe.
Well,
I
check
know
it out. I mean, I've seen every episode probably 3 or 4 times. I've
I've
seen the
heard
whole show like 3 or 4 times.
I should do it just to be part of the zeitgeist of the culture. But you
It's
know,
pretty funny. It's a pretty hilarious show.
someone said it's a show about nothing. Because and I know Larry Charles. You know who Larry Charles is by any chance?
No,
He wrote for Seinfeld or produced it or something like that. And he produced like all the Borat movies and Borat and
I mean he might have wrote some stuff, but
is it
Larry David, and Jerry
no,
Seinfeld
yeah, he's part of
were the
them.
main writers.
No, yeah, but if you look at Larry Charles or something, but he's got like this big beard.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he wrote with Bob Dylan. He
Mm-hmm.
sat in a room in Bob Dylan's boxing gym in Santa Monica, which is like a boxing gym slash cafe, right? And there's offices upstairs, and like Dylan has an office there, and he and Larry Charles sat and wrote the script to Bob Dylan's movie that he put under a different name, so no one knew it was him, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and it was called Masked and Anonymous, right? And Dylan wrote it with Larry Charles. But how Dylan writes, and you were talking about methods, I think on Twitter, on David the index card method and stuff like that. Well, Dylan apparently, according to Larry Charles, who wrote on Seinfeld, produced Borat and many, many, many projects, he
Mm-hmm.
said Dylan carries around like a tiny little case, and in it is like little notes, scribbles on stationery, on napkins, on pieces of
That's
paper,
very
things,
unorganized. That's the
and he
I mean,
cuts it up,
I'm
throws
sure
them
that's
in
the
there.
Bob Dylan method, but it's also the Eminem method. Did you know that's the Marshall Mathers method too?
Is it? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Eminem
Um,
has he has at least in his he pulled it out and showed it to the interviewer, just like a box full of like you described, tons of pieces of paper all
Wow.
separated, some of them napkins, all scribbles, ideas,
Yeah.
lyrics, just lyrics,
Yeah. And so he dumped it out like this, and it would be things like pig with a wig, or just names of people like Uncle Sweetheart and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, how can we put this together? And they did it, and that's what the movie is.
So
And then
that's the David Bowie method. David Bowie did that.
it's the cut up method, and David Bowie took it from.
He didn't like carry around like Marshall Mathers and Bob Dylan did, but I'm sure he did to an extent.
He
I'm
did.
sure he did
He
to an
explains
extent.
it.
It is true. If David Bowie saw something interesting in the newspaper, he would cut it out. He
Really?
would cut that line out. He would save it, but
Yeah. I do the same thing.
he would also just write a bunch of index cards, and he would mix them up and throw them out and see. And that's why
Yep.
you see in so many David Bowie songs, like just Ashes to Ashes, for example,
Right.
there's some lines that make zero sense.
Yeah.
It's clearly that method on that particular song, but if it sounds great, that's how you come out with a great line, Yeah.
Yeah. There's some. I mean, but like he apparently was taking. There was Dylan before. Well, Bowie was still around when Dylan was around, but
Mhm.
um, you, William Burroughs was the name of the guy that like really was known for it and explained it. He was like one of those. Do you know who that guy is? He hung around with Kurt Cobain a little bit. There was
Yeah. I mean, for all
collaboration,
we know, he inspired a lot of other people. I mean, we don't know who started this method, but it's an
but it
interesting
goes back.
method.
Yeah.
I've never really used it too much. I don't use
I,
that method.
I do write my like I'll have like an idea of like a name, for example, and like things start with just names. Like Tolkien, the great one of the greatest creative people ever, um, would come up with the name Gondor, and then he'd imagine, okay, well, as a linguist, Gondor, what does that provoke in your imagination? What could it be? Okay, that. What does Aragorn mean? What kind of person is that? What, and so everything kind of evolves from the language. That's how important it is. But I'll definitely watch that.
Gondor, and then you
Yeah,
got
yeah,
from J.R.R. Tolkien, and then
yeah.
you got George R. R. Martin, Hodor.
Oh, right. I think that's well, it's the whole door, and there's a lot of
George R. R. He borrowed from everybody. He borrowed
well,
from Lord of the
door.
Rings.
So did
He,
Tolkien though, and
he borrowed
door.
from everything.
Well, door. You think about Dumbledore, right? So door. I think it means there's a DOR. I forget exactly what it means right now, and I'm gonna
George
snap.
R. R. Martin, he also borrowed from the Book of Mormon. One
Yeah,
of the characters is named Mormon
really.
with a T on the end. Mormon.
Mormon. Yeah, that's
Come
right.
on.
He's supposed to be Mormon, really. Well, and
Mormont.
it's
But,
interesting.
I mean, you could be inspired by anything, any sources.
Well, how language works like that. Like a lot of the times, like you'll notice the hobbits' language are different from the race of the elves, how the elves speak and how the
Mhm.
men speak in Bree and how they speak in Gondor and how they speak in the
Forgot to
red.
mention, but so in this book, Sir
Oh
Arthur
yeah, we're
Conan
still going.
Doyle, he says that he proved beyond a shadow of a doubt to mega skeptic Houdini that some seances are real and some spirits are real and they're really real. And after a seance, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is sitting in a chair at the seance. Houdini's sitting right next to him right after the seance. Houdini's like, okay, I'm convinced. I thought they're all fake. This one was real. Because that seance in particular, uh, the medium got information and details on Houdini's mother, like details on what she wore, what she looked like, what she was dressed like, tiny, tiny, tiny details that what Houdini knew for a fact nobody knows, no one. They couldn't have researched. They didn't have the internet back then, but Houdini said there wasn't even a photograph they could have stolen that information from. And so Houdini was 100% convinced. And then even 24 hours, he was convinced. And then 2 weeks later, he wasn't convinced anymore because Houdini was such a skeptic. All you got to do is separate a true event by a couple weeks, couple months, and back on the wagon of, maybe they weaseled it somewhere. Who knows?
Interesting. He was a fascinating person who did like what he did, like amazing. Um, in relation to that, I know where this book right here. I just want to get a good shot of it. It's called A Science for the Soul, Occultism and the Genesis of Modern German Thought. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Occultism and the Genesis of German Modern. And it is by Karina Tritzel. And I'm just gonna, it's all about the, and I didn't know this, the tremendous amount of seance, spiritism, cults, not just the Tula Society, not just, um, people always refer to, I forget, the Vril Society and things like that, that people were interested in. But before that, there's a whole list in here. I'll just give a little things about Germany's painful entry into the modern age and eliciting emotions. And part of that was the Science for the Soul. And some great photos here of seances and mediumship going on.
What's it about? It's
Automa-
about seances.
Automatic writing. It's about, and you're the person, you're the expert on German history from 1880, like let's say 1850 to 1950, 100 years. I'm just guessing. I think it's around that. So it's pre-World War II. So, but from like I think before World War One. But the sheer amount of German, it's all just German occult spiritism clubs and organizations for that little country was
Mm-hmm.
incredible. I'll show you the list. So
Yeah, I
this
know the Skull and Bones supposedly was created in Germany, and
is
then
that right? Oh yeah,
the Yale version is just the American chapter. That's supposedly.
right.
So
So
maybe
here
they
you,
super were into the occult in Germany, huh?
hmm and
I
this
mean,
guy, right?
you know from the History Channel that they always talk about the
Yeah.
World War II guy in the occult 24/7.
Oh yeah. This is different. I've watched those. You'll never hear about this on those shows. In my opinion, like you might get like a shout out to the, like I was saying before, like the Tule Society and
Mm-hmm.
the Brill Society
Yeah, the Vril.
and like the mainstream, like that everybody knows. This is pre-war stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking 1800. This guy is
Cool.
believing in levitating objects. He's doing experiments on levitating
Wow.
objects, and they were doing it as a science,
Interesting.
spirit science, a science for the soul. They called it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they were because Germany at that time was the cultural and physics in terms of physics and science were
Mm-hmm.
blowing everybody away.
Mm-hmm.
Because particle physics, you had all the top physicists were from that area,
Mm-hmm.
and even the political thought. You had Karl Marx, to good or bad. You had Marx basically came from Germany, and all these different people. But check this out, John. This is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
There was, and it shows the first thing, anti-occults, cults.
Wow. Anti-occult clubs.
Do you remember when I started the anti-occult podcast, and you were like, "My God, that was like my first try, you and John Evans."
Mhm.
So
And then
there
you
are even,
deleted it and took it all down.
yeah, because well, I still have them, but I don't. So it just goes on for. It's not just that page. It's this page
Mm-hmm.
and this page and
Are any of those still active today? Are they
this
all
page.
gone?
There's no. Oh, I could check. I probably and this page and this page and like it just goes on and everything is heavily footnoted and
Mm-hmm.
heavily documented. Like this is the stuff people should read, but it's too hard. They don't want that. They want Billy Carson. They want Billy David Wilcox summation of it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so go ahead.
I've
Yeah.
already said this once before, but I read all the Montauk Project books, right? I read them all front to back because I found them interesting. And I'm
Mhm.
smart enough to know there's tons of BS in them to know that 99, I would say 95%, maybe 90%, and maybe sometimes it's 80% at best
Mhm.
is 100% fiction, make believe, and
Exactly.
they mix in just enough truth to
Yep.
trick you and scam you and scheme you. But
Mhm.
So I'm very well versed in the Montauk Project books, front to back.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Do you
I
have a series of videos
I
on?
communicated with Preston B. Nichols when he was still alive back in the old Montauk Project forums, and he was only active on those forums for like 6 months in the entire existence of the entire website. And
Yeah.
I was there during that 6 months. It was the year 2000, the year
Yeah.
2001. So anyway, when I clicked on a video about some guy talking about the Montauk Project, I'm like, okay, and it happened to be David Wilcock, and I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, I've heard of his video,
Oh,
Coast
yeah.
to Coast AM. I know he was a guest on Coast to Coast AM. On
Hmm.
the show, I listened to the first ever interview of him with Art Bell, and
Wow.
Art Bell said,
He did a show without Bell?
some people say you look like Edgar Casey,
Oh
and
no.
David Wilcock said, people say that, but it's just a coincidence.
He's still riding it. He's
And
still saying,
then fast forward 10 years, he'll say, yes, I'm the reincarnation of Edgar Casey. Yes, yes, yes. And he'll block anyone who says he's not the reincarnation of Edgar Casey because I said, you're not the reincarnation of Edgar Casey. And
he blocked you?
he blocked me just for that.
Yeah.
So
My
it's a tough
friend met him
subject
on the
for him,
street.
but he wasn't a douchebag when he said, that's not me. It's just a coincidence. He was a normal guy, or he
Yeah.
was an honest guy, a realistic guy when he denied being the reincarnation of a mega famous uh,
Interesting.
new age prophet, the
Yeah.
sleeping prophet. Edgar Casey's very famous. He's basically a celebrity. When you say that
Yeah.
you're the reincarnation of a celebrity, you're BS. You're a liar. It's like me saying I'm the reincarnation of Napoleon, Cleopatra. It's always a famous person.
Yeah. It's
You
never
know, it's a
somebody.
lie because it's always a famous person.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
I've
never
heard this many times before, but how come no one's the reincarnation of a non famous person? And there's at least one Unsolved Mysteries episode where a guy is the reincarnation of a non famous person, supposedly. And then there
oh,
might be another one
really?
where a little boy said,
Huh.
reincarnation of a non celebrity. So occasionally these non celebrity
Okay.
cases come about.
But it's rare.
But
Yeah.
I watched the video, and Wilcock verbatim, word for word, gave worse than what AI would give you. If you asked AI, can you give me a summary of this book? AI
Wow.
would say, the book is about this. Da, 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 da. So
Yeah.
Wilcock is a human version of a mindless AI robot because
Kinda.
no matter what his opinion will be, it's not an opinion at all. It's a robotic computer generic response with generic information. He doesn't obviously
Great.
he read the Montauk Project books. He didn't absorb anything. He didn't learn anything. He didn't get any insights. He just scratched such the barely surface that he can only repeat the surface because
Right.
he's, I would say, maybe limited in intelligence. I don't know, but if he thinks that he's the reincarnation of someone, that alone would tell me he's
I
off his
so
head.
I met him, yet I had no idea who he was, of course. This is years before probably he even did Art Bell or anything like that. I think. I don't know. 2007, something like that, 2006. And he was hanging
Where'd you
out.
meet him? Where'd you meet him?
Topanga. Do you know, ever hear of a place called Topanga Canyon
Yeah.
near LA? That's like Topanga, and then there's Topanga Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right off the 101, right? You go up 101, heading towards like Malibu, let's say, and you go underneath the thing, the bridge, whatever the thing, come
Mm-hmm.
out. The ocean's on your left, and there used to be an American apparel. Remember that store
Mm-hmm.
right there, in the parking lot. My friend and I, it was like my friend Ethan was living in Koreatown at the time, and I was there, and he was like, "Let's hang out. We got to go to this place for a philosophy night, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And I told you this. I told you I met Will Cocker probably, right?
I probably forgot. I forgot.
Yeah, it's not a big
That
deal.
seems like the
So
kind of place he would show up at.
it was, well, he lived there. He lived in this place called Topanga Canyon, like
Mm-hmm.
apparently, right? So you go a lot of, like, if you ever see commercials for car companies, a lot of them are shot on that road. Hunter S. Thompson has a story of him going up the road with like a famous person, maybe Johnny
Mm-hmm.
Depp or somebody, um, without headlights on, which is nuts because I've driven this and it's just the windiest. and like people flying. It's all uphill. That there was like the Manson cult was there too, right? And there's also this guy.
Yeah, I think I've driven. I think I've driven up there before. Sounds familiar.
uh, so this guy, this eccentric billionaire from Germany, bought 30, you can look this up online,
Mhm.
bought 13 acres of Native American land that was, I guess, for sale by the
Mhm.
shoe match, I believe, right? There's something, not the shoe match, it must have been something else, but
Had to
it,
be something else.
it might be.
Chumash is very small.
Is it?
Their reservation is where I grew up in San Ynez, California. It's a microscopically small reservation.
Is
Very
it?
small. Yes.
So it must be, I don't, so I don't know the tribe in LA, that area, but
But
whatever.
they used to be bigger though. Obviously, in their heyday, they were all over
Could
Santa
have been, right.
Barbara. They were all over the valley,
Maybe
all over
LA.
the coast.
Yeah.
It's just when the government took the land, they
Right.
forced them onto a tiny plot in San Ynez, and that's why
Yeah.
they are able to have that casino.
That's
For
true. Wow, you read my mind. Yep. But like, so anyway, so he bought this land. And it's a beautiful place, man.
Mhm.
This guy, my friend, met at Burning Man, where where Elon Musk debuted his Tesla, in
Mhm.
a Tesla prototype, and you can look this up, in a Roadster. He came in with a little Roadster. No one knew who he was at all. It was just a cool car. Other people came there from UC Berkeley and Stanford and Harvard, and it was staying with that camp. It's called Dematerial.
I don't like
Anyway,
Burning Man. I'm not a fan of
I don't
Burning
either.
Man
I
personally.
don't either.
I think
But
I
I
think
went.
I think Burning Man is 100% douchebags from A to Z. The
Not
birth of
100%.
Burning Man to the death of Burning Man is douchebag central. 100% of the people that show up there are douchebags.
Not
Now,
100%.
I
That's
know that
I
Ian
went.
Fleming goes there.
I
I
went.
know
Oh yeah.
that Harland Williams goes there every year. And
Does he?
Harland Williams is my favorite comedian.
I didn't know
Okay.
that.
But the second he steps foot into the Burning Man area, instant douchebag. Everyone on in Burning Man, douchebag. Now, let me tell you, I I
I guess
know
you're right.
people I know people who founded Burning Man and set it up.
Really? I bet you do. Oh, that's interesting.
My my uncle, and he's really my like great uncle. So he's not
Yeah.
like a regular uncle.
Right.
He's like my dad's
Cousin or something.
cousin's
Yeah.
brother. Like it's
Okay.
that removed. But my
Yeah.
dad's cousin's brother was part of the group, or maybe his friend.
Uh,
It's so disconnected, but
yeah. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
told me that they're so connected they can get in. They can get me in
For
for
free.
free every year.
Yeah. That's what
If they're
I
not
did. Yeah.
connected, they know the group and they're part of the group. And this is way back when Burning Man didn't accept
There's
money.
nothing like
Remember when he was no money?
I don't, but
You
like,
remember?
yeah, I've
Uh,
read about it.
well, when Burning Man started, they banned money.
I
Zero
was never.
currency was
Oh yeah.
allowed.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Zero
still. Yeah.
credit cards. It
Yeah.
was zero credit cards, zero
Cash.
money, and they
Well,
traded. And it was
there was one
100%
exception.
trading. You brought
There was
bottled
one
water, you
exception.
brought food, and you would trade food for water. You
There's one
brought
exception.
whatever, you brought whatever, you would trade. And the second it turned into credit cards and cash, that was the second it
No.
turned into mega douchebag, ultra douchebag central.
Well, I'll
Um,
say they did. They did. I remember the year I went. I only went 1 year, and I did get paid, go for free. My friend had a camp, and I got in for free. He's one of these. Everybody knows somebody, whatever. But
mhm.
it was crazy. But like, yeah, and I had just done it after a week somewhere else, and like looking at colleges around California. My friend Nick, and then we went to Burning Man. My friend Ethan picked me up in this giant school bus. He's a medical doctor now, which is
Mhm.
funny. He went to Burning Man, and we were there, and we were just hanging out. But yeah, all these things are happening. But like, there's some dark energy there for sure. Some
Yeah, definitely.
super
I mean,
dark energy, and I felt that.
even the burning of the piece of wood shaped like
Yeah,
a man alone
the Wicker Man.
is obviously reminiscent, inspired, a modern day version of the ancient occult rituals. Yeah, I mean,
It is. It's
uh,
blatantly too. Yeah.
whether there's creatures inside of it, people inside of it or not, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
It's
I don't know.
still against, it's against the Bible. Let's face it.
They say it's symbolic.
Burning an idol. That's it. It doesn't
Whatever. I
matter
mean,
if it's a Moloch It doesn't matter if it's a Burning Man. If you're burning something in a ritualistic manner like that,
Yeah.
it's against biblical. It's
Yeah, it
against
is. It is. It is turning
God's
it into
law.
an idol. It could. It very well could. You're right. Um, the oddest thing really was there's a place called the Temple, which was it was built by a guy with one hand. And it's a place because there's the burning of the temple before the burning of the man. The year
Mhm,
I went, someone sabotaged the man and lit it the first night on fire. Lit it on fire.
mhm,
And but anyway, going back to what we were talking about, yeah, you're right. Douchebags go to Burning Man. I think it's been turned into. It was weird. It was always like a mission. It's like, how do these people get these like military grade weapons to play with? It really what it was. And then it became like all the corporate Silicon Valley people had to go because that's where the culture was. If you tapped into that Burning Man market, you were hip. If you went, you were hip. And there's now
mhm,
people who have, like you said, like pay like Katy Perry, who will pay like millions of dollars probably to just go for a day or two to take some photos. And like when I went, I didn't shower for a whole week. I was camping. There was no place to shower unless because you,
mhm,
you can't. You're right. You can't pay. The year I went, you could pay for coffee. That was the only thing they accepted. It was only on a cash basis. That's it. There was
mhm,
no Wi-Fi back when I went, and, right? So, but it really got ruined after that, I think.
mhm,
But Elon Musk did show up in his Roadster, which was pretty cool. But I didn't pay attention to it.
mhm.
Barrett didn't even talk to him. But David Wilcock I met in Topanga Canyon, and
Well,
it was
eh,
philosophy night. I
mhm,
just shook his hand, said hi to him,
mhm.
and it was called Philosophy Night. They had some speaker at this place, and I'll give the name out. It's called what's this place? I'll look it up. Oh God, what was the name? It was like Wild Acres or something like that. It had
Mhm,
this name, but there was a collection of artists that were living on it. And there was this guy, Drew Broderick, who was like a piano player. He lived in
mhm,
like a tree house. They had these tree houses, John, that were like constructed as these luxury, like weird apartments too, like with stone and granite and just like so, and you could rent it out. So I rented one out for like a couple days, but it was creepy. I also had a very dark vibe.
mhm.
My friend was there and we brought a couple friends. They had a gate that was like 30 feet high, man. It was ridiculous.
Okay. Well, let me
Yeah,
mention the book real quick.
who cares?
So I am reading Jeanette McCurdy's Half His Age. I'm only a couple pages in, but I did get a signed copy, and she
That's
did,
cool.
she just squiggled Jen on it,
That's
but
nice.
she used a nice purple marker, and it is legitimately her autograph. And how do I know? Because I ordered two signed copies. That's how I know.
Cool.
I
You
didn't
hoarder.
I didn't want to mess up
Yeah.
signed copy. So I got two signed copies
You
because
probably have
the
more.
price was basically the same. It's give or take $5. I'll pay $5 for an autograph
Yeah,
from her. And
definitely.
so here's the other autograph, and it's slightly different. The
Same.
loop is a lot smaller,
It
but
must mean something to her.
probably in the
Yeah.
same batch. But it's different enough as an autograph person. I'm not an autograph expert, but to an extent,
Yeah.
I have researched autographs for many years. Let me
Have
give you
you?
an example. I bought a Kurt Cobain autograph on the internet, and I wasn't sure if it was real or not.
Mm.
So it forced me to download 1,000 Kurt Cobain autographs. And this was a long time ago. This was back in the
Whoa.
year, this was back in the year 2005, 2006, a long time ago. So there wasn't a million fakes that we have today. There was a certain limited number of clear fakes and clear
Right.
real ones.
Mhm.
And you can trace the real ones pretty easily. Anyway, so I have my own personal database of like 1,000 Kurt Cobain autographs. I said I was going to make a website. I never did, but I still have them.
Wow.
And I learned how to sign his name. I learned how his name is easy.
Interesting.
One of the easiest autographs to forge. So that's scary if you want to buy his autograph. But
I
I learned
yeah.
how to do the K. I learned how to do the T. I'll just say this
Wow.
much. I'll say this much. He never crossed the T very long. He did the
Huh.
T pretty short. But
Okay.
the forgers will always do the T long.
Interesting.
Why? And I'll tell you why. It's because T is the easiest thing to do. Anyone can cross a T.
That's
Crossing
true.
a T is easy.
Right.
So the forgers, the fake autograph, I guess, whatever. It's forger, right? I mean,
Forgers. Yeah, 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 absolutely.
just the autograph forgers. They they're like, okay,
Right.
gotta copy the way he did the K, the U, and the R is kind of connected, kind of the same thing. Okay,
Yeah.
we got a little Eiffel Tower here. Ah, oh, finally I can relax and just cross the T. And they cross it way too long because they're relaxed and they're like, ooh, finally the hard part's over. Let's just cross it on. And he never did it that long. Only the fake people did it that long. So that's just one tiny piece of information. If you're looking at Kurt Cobain's autographs,
Hmm.
I look at them on eBay and watch out, watch out. I would
Yeah.
say easily 9 out of 10 are fake. 9 out of 10 are fake. It's that
Yeah.
bad.
You gotta be you're taking a risk for sure. I
Yeah.
have in my I'll say this in my signature, there's a hidden thing
Mhm.
that once you see it, you'll know you'll know that I did it. But it appears very easy to fake, but it's not. It's there's something there. So good luck to you, John, in figuring it out.
Okay. Well, let me just talk about this book a little
All
bit.
right, go ahead. Yeah,
The reason I bought this book, hey, I support Jenna McCurdy.
she's a good writer.
I like her
Good
stuff.
writer.
There was a point in her life when, she did a country music album and no one
Oh,
bought
I
it.
didn't
No
know
one
that.
listened to her. No one cares. Probably few people remember. And it
Yeah,
bombed hard.
no idea who she is.
It
Yeah,
was pretty much the same time Miranda Cosgrove put out a pop album trying to be Gwen Stefani. Gwen Stefani is like the hero of Miranda Cosgrove. She like looks
love
up to her
her.
so much,
Yeah,
and I do too.
me too.
I think Gwen Stefani's great.
Gwen
I saw
Stefani's
her
amazing.
live with No
Still,
Doubt back in
so my first concert.
2000. Yeah, the year 2000. I saw
Yeah.
No Doubt at the EMP, the Seattle Museum grand opening,
Whoa, cool.
and so that
I
was pretty
saw him.
cool.
I saw him when on the tour where she got with Gavin Rossdale. Did you
Yeah.
see? So I Gavin Rossdale
I don't like
recently.
that guy. I don't like him. He's a
Well, he
scumbag.
recently replied to me on Instagram
I
about.
know you posted that. You're like,
Did you see
you're
that?
happy to get a response from a celebrity. It's just he's a scummy celebrity.
It's silly. It's just silly. I don't. You
I
think he's
mean,
scummy? I don't know.
anyone choosing uh, some
I don't know the
some
details.
crumb bum maid over Gwen Stefani.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that.
He chose a crumb bum maid over the
I didn't know that.
phenomenal Gwen.
I had no idea. That's stupid. He's dumb.
That's a dumb mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an idiot. But yeah, they were great. Gwen was so when I couldn't, but then she has like her own album apart from No Doubt was a really like Tragic Kingdom beginning to end.
Yes, her solo album was a
But
mega, super, ultra, mega platinum. I mean,
huge, like across genres and stuff. You know what I mean?
and what
Like,
kind of ticked me off was when they asked her, "What does hollaback girl mean?" And she's like, we made that in the studio in 2 hours. I don't know what it
wow.
means. We literally just made it on the spot because we're under such pressure to come out with a hit. And who could come out with a hit that amazing in 2 hours? No one.
Right.
Like that's pretty phenomenal.
That is phenomenal. She's amazing. Like
They
she's
focused on her not knowing what it meant. She didn't want to be offensive. It probably means something offensive.
who knows, you know? Yeah, I don't even know what it is, but you can kind of pick up the context clues, I guess.
Yeah, but Jeanette, so she had a country album, totally bombed, and Miranda Cosgrove's pop album bombed as well. But Miranda went on to have a pretty good career as a voice actress in
Oh
cartoons.
yeah, yeah, that's how
But
I know.
Jeanette didn't. Jeanette really didn't have much of a career after the bombing of her country album. And
Hmm.
so she's trying to do comedy. She does a couple skits here and there, and they're hilarious. She like totally roasted Instagram posters.
Jeanette McCurdy did?
Yeah.
How? What do you mean?
Every Instagram skit she would do was satirical and making fun of the current trends, and
Oh, love
so
that.
few people got it
Yeah.
that they're like, "Oh, we loved you and iCarly." Like the comments are just iCarly fans. You know, they
Oh,
didn't get
I don't even know. I've never seen
that she has a really dark sense of humor in real life, and she continues that dark sense of humor with her book Half His Age, which is actually already in the process of being turned into a movie.
it.
So she's so successful that she has a number one best time seller. I'm glad my
The
mom
first
died.
book.
And then
Yep.
this was, who knows, might become a bestseller. I don't know, but
Some people.
I'm only like on page 5 because I wasn't feeling good the other day. I got sick, but I
It
will
definitely
continue to
people.
read it. It captivates you from page 1 though, and it is explicit and dirty, but
Mm,
it's so honest in its approach that there's zero sexiness to it.
yeah.
It's 100% just really raw and honest to the point of this is pretty funny. This is pretty dark and pretty funny,
Mm,
and it would make a great movie. It would make a great script, most definitely.
interesting.
I'm only a couple of pages in, and I'll tell you, one of my inspirations was I'm creating some characters in my movie, and I want to get some ideas, some vibe, and I'm not going to take anything. But like David Bowie said, an artist takes from everything they absorb and see and taste and touch. David Bowie, you probably saw the interview. He has a lot of famous interviews, but one of them, he's like, I borrow from everybody. I'm inspired by everybody, and so I'm gonna read it and hopefully give some depth to one of my characters in my movie. I casted a actor in my movie,
Wow.
and the reason I don't want to mention their name, the reason I'm not going to mention any details, is because it's too early in the process. You know what I mean? It's too soon.
Oh yeah.
They could always back out. They could
Yeah.
always say, I'm good." But
Exactly.
I have casted an actor, an actual actor in California in person.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
trust me, I have 10 plus people who say they want to voice act, and you're one of them, and
I'm one of them. Yeah, I
I'm
would do it.
greatly appreciative.
I don't like my voice, but we'll work it out. I know Jordan
Anyone
really.
can voice act. Anyone can voice act.
That's
And
cool.
to be honest, in my opinion, anyone can act.
I yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the clip of man, was it Humphrey Bogart? Who was it? Was it
I know.
okay.
What do they do? What,
I get two actors mixed up. I get Humphrey Bogart mixed up
WC
with
Field?
Humphrey Bogart mixed up with someone else, and I had literally
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I'm more of a WC Fields fan myself. But while you're looking that up,
have to
I,
pick. Okay, Marlon Brando. I get Humphrey
oh, okay.
Bogart mixed up with Marlon Brando every time.
My
I don't
friend
know why I
Marlon's
do it.
named after. Yeah.
But Marlon Brando famously said, anyone can act. Everyone can act. He said,
True.
my dog's acting right now. She wants a treat.
Right.
She's just pretending
Right.
to be that way to get something. And everyone pretends every day. You're pretending when you're interviewing me, you're pretending
Yep.
to be nice to me right now. And
Yep.
then after the interview, you're like, I'm done with this stupid interview. And he was
No.
right.
Well.
Everyone acts every single day, whether
Right.
you're getting
Well,
paid the big bucks and whether a script is involved is neither here nor there. His point
we're.
was everyone has the capacity to be an amazing actor.
I agree.
And I believe that is 100% true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would really like to get my friend Marlon involved because he's an unknown but like he
Mhm.
just he's a student of film and he loves film and great acting anyway. But like he's something. He looks like
Does he
he's
live in California?
no, unfortunately not. That's the thing.
Okay.
So I'm
Well,
thinking voice
see,
acting
I
or something.
have 10 plus. Who know? I don't. I have the list somewhere, but I have between 9 and 15 individuals who are 100% gung ho. They're ready to voice
Wow, good.
act from a different state, far, far away. But my
Yeah.
camera
And
happens to be located here with me,
right.
and I spent a great deal of money on this camera to the
Mm,
point where I'm going to have to hire a cameraman or a bodyguard for my camera, and
Oh,
that's kind of scary. You know
that
what I
much?
mean? It's a movie camera. It's a film camera. It costs
Yeah,
many thousands of dollars, and I'm gonna have to have a bodyguard because this is
that'd be a
California.
pretty cool job. That'd be a
This is
really cool job.
California. I'll tell you this
See,
much: I did film a little bit on the street,
yeah.
and some dude was scoping out my camera the entire
Oh
time.
no,
And that
really?
wasn't even my current camera. That was my old camera.
Ah,
My old
that
camera,
bad?
my old camera cost
Jeez.
like $2,000. That's my old piece of garbage camera. And even that one was being scoped out by what looked like someone who owned the corner, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Someone who
Is it?
scoped, someone who didn't have a job, literally being on the corner and doing the Jay and Silent Bob type business is what he appeared to be
Gotcha.
involved in. But on the side, maybe jack cameras if it's his corner and he's a little protective of his turf. You know what I mean? So it's not the safest place in the world to film unless you have a crew that can protect. uh, I got to think about stuff like that. It's not easy. I got to get a bodyguard for my camera. I mean, we'll see what
Well, you
happens.
got a lot of elements in your way. It's not like you can just like cut off a whole area and tell people to get out of there
Yeah,
within.
I can't get some police tape and just tape off the area.
You could
I'll tell
try
you
it,
this
and-
much. I'll tell you this much. I can't walk around with fake guns. And,
right?
and a cop comes by and I say, "Hey, cop, just ignore
Right.
this. This is a movie, by the way."
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
how the
yeah.
process actually works.
You rob a
You have to
bank.
get a filming license.
That's a
But then
good
after
scam.
getting the filming license, you got to go to the police station. You got to show the filming license to the police
I was just
station, and
filming it.
you got to tell the police station in advance, "I'm going to be filming with fake movie prop guns on this day at this location."
Right, you
And
better.
sometimes the cops will even watch
Right.
and they'll protect the area for you. Sometimes they will not.
That's true.
Sometimes they will charge you to pay for a police officer to stand there.
Yep. That's
So
here
there's
it
many
is.
different
Yeah.
scenarios, and I can't afford any single one of
A
those.
lot of
So
money.
there's going to be zero guns walking around in the streets but there are two very expensive prop guns in the movie I already have acquired,
Really.
and I've customized them, and I'm probably going to have to use green screen. I'm probably going to have to use green screen
Nothing wrong with
to wave them around because you can't wave around even a toy gun,
it. You need
even a
to.
very expensive prop gun, without someone calling the cops. And the second the cops show up, they see that you don't have a permit. They see
Yeah.
that there's no huge orange cap on the end. Of
Right.
course, there's no huge orange cap on the end. This is a movie, and you don't want people watching the movie to say, "Hey, what's he waving that Nerf? What's he waving that Nerf gun around for? What's that
Have
about?"
you ever have you ever seen Deadbeat at Dawn? The movie Deadbeat at Dawn.
Sounds
It's
familiar. I think I
it's an
have.
indie film. This crazy guy made it
You're the one who
in the
showed it to
70s.
me. You're the one
And
who
it has
showed it
like,
to me.
yeah, I think so. It has like spray paint of like spider, and it's like this guy. He's like a gang, and it looks like kind of like the Warriors, but he's like he's doing like throwing ninja stars, actual ninja
Mhm.
stars, and he climbs, rappels down like a four-story building parking lot.
Mhm.
That's for no reason, just but like they definitely had no permits filming
Mhm.
this thing. It was
Yeah,
shot in like bombed out Chicago, Detroit of like the 70s. So like
yeah.
no one cared, right? So they were like the
Well,
stuff they got away with was crazy, dude. It's
this
worth the watch.
actor, this actor who said they're interested in being in my movie, they said, people don't care. You don't need a permit. You don't need a permit here. People aren't going to care.
Mm,
So, I
yeah,
mean, I looked it up and I thoroughly researched it. And as long as you're in and out within 30 minutes, and as long as you don't
yeah,
use the tripod, as long
yeah.
as your crew is less than X number of people,
You
you
gotta
can
time it.
legally
Yeah,
be in and out. And I'll tell you this much: no matter how expensive the equipment is, no matter how professional the scene is, if anyone walks up and says, "Hey, you filming a movie?" the official answer is, "This is a TikTok video. I don't know what you're talking about. This
interesting.
is a TikTok video."
I like that. That's excellent. That's like, yeah.
Because
What are you gonna do?
what are they going to do? There's 1,000 girls making 1,000 TikTok videos every day. Like, I was
That's
literally
true.
walking on a
Right.
bridge
You're
in a
allowed to
park.
film in public.
I
You're
was in a
allowed.
park walking on a bridge, and there's these TikTok girls doing this TikTok dance, and
Like,
they didn't have no
how's it?
permit. They're doing their
Yeah.
choreographed stage dance, and for all anyone knows, I'm doing a TikTok video as well. You know?
That's true. Well, you're allowed to film in public, period. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
it's fine,
Like, people are getting used to that, like being recorded all the time and stuff like that.
man.
But that's cool to hear.
The dream would be if I can go to Japan,
Oh my
because
God,
I follow probably just like 10 accounts on Instagram in Japan,
I want to go.
just looking at the sites, looking at the alleyways, looking at the scenes.
Hmm.
Um, and man, even just a normal alleyway with normal shops looks so futuristic. It looks like it's
Really?
straight out of Blade Runner. I wouldn't have to build $1 million set. It's already there.
Right.
It's sitting right there. It's perfect as
Yeah.
is. And these shops, it doesn't matter that, oh well, that shop opened, in 5 years ago, or that shop's been there for 100 years. It To the American mind, it looks super futuristic. It doesn't matter. It perfectly fits the Blade
Yeah, I
Runner
love that
esque
place.
vibe I'm going for. You know,
Yeah, I've never been, but God, I want to go. It's like really Japan,
I
but even
looked it
like
up,
yeah, the
and it's not that
rural.
expensive. It's
I'm sure it's
pretty
not.
cheap.
Yeah, it's like
It's
Hawaii. Yeah,
I want to go for like 2 weeks and film. And I
that
looked
would
it
be
up, and the
Mount Fuji.
Japanese, the Japanese are very polite. You have to
Absolutely.
ask permission if you're going to film in their shop.
Yeah,
So I would literally learn 10 phrases in Japanese
that,
just so I could
that
ask permission in Japanese. And
that's what I like about
if they said no, I would respect them 100%. But
yeah,
there's so many alleyways with no one's faces, totally empty, would be
beautiful.
perfect
Yeah.
for the movie.
And even I was going to say the rural, not just the cities, but in Tokyo, but like the Kyoto, from what I've seen, like the like rural areas and stuff like that, where like the leaves falling and just like going to the supermarket, it just looks so fascinating. You know what I mean? And inspiring, actually. You know what I mean? But uh, yeah, that'd be cool if you went to shoot there. Could just get like the vibe or aesthetic that you're going for. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If you can just time it right, bring a few cameras, why not? And take a vacation at the same time, why not?
Well, I
Um,
got some.
you know,
I'm not big into Pokemon whatsoever,
oh, you got some new stuff.
but
We got to get
no,
your
it's
Jim
not
Carrey
new.
tape.
It's not new.
We got to get
Like
your Jim Carrey tape.
when Pokemon was on the cover of Time magazine like
Oh my
5 years
God,
ago,
it was.
and it showed, Logan Paul with his $1 million card or whatever the
Oh
crud.
no.
Like, I don't give a crud about Time magazine showing Pokemon. I don't give a crud about Logan Paul having on whatever. But I was like, you know what? It might be a good investment to get some Pokemon cards. So
Yeah.
five years
Right.
ago,
Smart.
five
Yeah.
years ago, I bought 3 Sableye cards. Sableye, a specific Pokemon I knew nothing about. I just thought he was cool because he's a purple ghost demon with
Hmm.
freaking diamond eyes, and I thought he looked interesting.
Yeah.
So I
Uh,
bought I bought I guess two of almost the best Sableye cards in existence, PSA 10.
okay.
And if you don't invest in PSA 10, you're wasting your
What
money.
is PSA 10? What is that?
Only get the PSA 10. If you
What
get
is that?
PSA 9, the difference between PSA 10 and PSA 9 is
Oh,
thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
yeah, the condition, right? I
PSA
know.
is just the company, the grading company.
Correct. The
Uh,
grading, rather. Yeah. That's
you know,
cool.
you know what PSA is.
Not
It's
really. I don't
PSA
know. I'm not.
Collectibles Authentication and Grading
Oh,
Service.
is it one of the
Uh,
clubs listed in the book? It's so I don't know.
so
I mean, I
it's
know
a
I do
joke
know.
that decided to, if we put it in a plastic sleeve and slap a number on it, people will pay us.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're the number one people that do it. So Beckett
If,
also does it, and
I used to get Beckett.
there's a couple
Yeah.
other companies that do it. But
That's
PSA
cool.
is number one. I guess there's like CGC does it. Oh,
Do they
CG.
have the Christopher Walken referenced? Yeah, or the that walk-in card that you got signed, the Dune one?
Well, I'm not going to grade any of my cards, and I'll tell you why.
No. Why?
Because I ordered something a couple months ago and it got lost in the mail, never arrived. And so
Are you
there's a, even if it's a 1% chance, it's not going to get to them and it's not going to get back to you. I'm not going to waste that time. I'm not going
that's
to
crazy.
risk that. But you can submit in person. There
Yeah.
is an in person event coming up, and maybe next time I'll participate. Maybe next time. You have to have the paperwork ready to go. You have to have it all ready to go.
Hmm.
And you pay a fee and they grade it. And I might grade some of my stuff, but it's a lot cheaper and easier just to buy pre-graded.
Right.
Unless
Exactly.
you're one of those nerds. I'll tell you what the nerds are doing. The
What?
nerds are buying like 10 PSA 9s.
Hmm.
They're opening them up and then they're sending them in hoping to get a 10 back. And even if they get one
Really?
10 back, they could have made 10, 20, 30,
That's a
40,
good
fifty
point.
thousand
That,
dollars.
you know what? That's a good point. Wow. So there's a loophole or
Well,
flaw.
it's not a loophole. It's human
Not a
eyeball.
loophole. You know
Human
what I mean?
eyeballs are going to
But it's
grade
like,
it differently every time. So
but people
there's a
could.
huge risk you can turn a 9 into an 8. So I
It's
mean,
true. It is subjective. That is interesting.
yeah, there's
I
no exact science to PSA 10. Uh,
speaking of this, so I wanted to tell this story. Tell me if this has ever happened to you or anybody. You can leave it in the comments.
mhm.
So yesterday, I ordered. You ever order Uber Eats or DoorDash or something like that?
But I've never
Yeah,
done it personally.
but you know what it is. It's basically you
Yeah.
order food, they deliver it to you. So I
I
ordered.
don't trust they're not going to eat it. You know what I mean? I've seen too many
No,
horror
it's
stories.
sealed. They seal it. They seal it. It has to be sealed actually. But so um, I use it and order from this place that I order from
Mhm.
all the time, and it's the most authentic Mexican food I can get in this area, right? And I
Mhm.
order all the time from this place,
Straight from Mexico.
straight from Mexico, right here. And but like so I order, it goes through, and then all of a sudden on my phone I get a message in green. It says F you. I'm not even going to say the. It says F you a hole, but like the whole thing.
Did you tip them?
Nothing had happened yet except
Uh,
the restaurant started preparing the meal. It just said they've accepted your order. They're
they're
working.
not going to close soon or anything like that, right?
Well, so I was like, did I imagine that? I was on the phone with somebody at the same time, and I
Mhm.
was looking at, and then I saw F you. So I mean, excuse me.
That
The
is weird.
right? So I immediately called the restaurant and I was like, "Hey, did you send a message to me or something like right?" I was like, "No, no, no, this is what happened. Sorry." So I saw that and I was like, "Okay," hung up with the person. I think I reported it immediately to Uber Eats. It's fat like it's
Mhm.
all bots. It's all like you
Yeah.
can't speak to a person.
Mhm.
So I just like something's going on with an ongoing issue with an order.
Mhm.
Someone like this has never happened to me, right?
I wonder
And
how they sent it.
this is so they found out, right? So like within a day,
Mhm.
uh, because I'm like, okay, they can see everything that happens, right? So
Mhm.
they got to see it. They must have a record of it, right?
Mhm.
But I don't. It just popped up on my screen and then
Mhm.
went away. So I don't know if it's the delivery guy getting my food. He's like, ah, you're making me go get your delivery food, or the
Mhm.
person making it, or
Mhm.
so I'm not gonna eat something that like
Yeah, it might
somebody's
be
that you know what I
tainted or
mean?
something. Yeah.
So I called the restaurant and I said, and it's a Mexican person, or
Mhm.
it could be any Latino um, country.
Mhm.
Is like, hello, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I was like, hi, is your manager there? Right? I hate to be that for what this
Mhm.
deserved. I was nice, and I said, and they were like, no, and I was like, okay. I was like, when will they be around? And they're like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, cool. What's your name? And they hung up, right?
Wow.
So the delivery driver, I get in contact with him.
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, hey, what's going on? And he's like, that's crazy. Because I wrote him a message. He's like, oh, I'm going to be 10 minutes or whatever.
Mhm.
He wrote me a message and I wrote him and told him what was going on. I'm like,
Mhm.
don't get this food. I'm canceling it right now. Like, hold
Mhm.
on a minute, right? He's like, what do you mean? So he called me. We talked, nicest guy in the world,
Mhm.
right? So I told him, he's like, that's crazy. He's like, it must be somebody hacked into the system. He thought he was an older guy. I'm like,
Mhm.
no, 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 I think I don't know. So so he has to get the food. So
Mhm.
I'm like, go get it, I guess, and he's like, I'll talk to him about it in the restaurant. So he goes into the restaurant and
Mhm.
he talks to the people and they don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
And gets the food, delivers it to me. I'm like, all right, and I continuously trying to get in touch with Uber Eats to tell them what the story, what's going on.
Mhm.
Have to write it a million times the same way, right? I'm like, God damn, it's taking forever. And then I finally get back. Oh, we're sorry. We're sorry you had a problem with something. We can't do anything. I'm like, okay, fine. And then just last night, I get a phone call late. This guy's like, yeah, can I speak to Brandon? I'm like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, so we're so sorry about what happened, We
Mhm.
and they issued me a full refund and and he saw how crazy it was. He said what happened was when you order something, there's like it goes out to like all the drivers in the area and
Mhm.
they can see, okay, certain information. So they can see this person wants this from this restaurant or something, right? And they can plot out like a course or they can whatever. So
Mhm.
somehow they have the ability to message you too. And somebody just saw me and was like, F you ass. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, so,
Yeah, that
ooh,
sounds like. I mean, that makes sense to an extent.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, there are a lot. Just the Uber type, Lyft type drivers. They could be jaded. I
yes,
never experienced that, and that kind of sucks. Sorry
yeah,
that happened. But
that's okay. It got refunded, so it's okay.
when I was in Florida, uh, I was we needed a ride back to our hotel from either Disney
Airport.
World or Universal Studios. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, it's far,
And
kind of.
and the guy, he accepted obviously on his end to pick us up, and
Hmm.
we don't know who he is. We just are sending out. We need a ride,
Hmm.
and he made us run after his car. He
What?
was at the last second going to not pick us up after seeing what we look like, I guess, or whatever the case. I don't know. So
What?
we had to
Maybe.
we had to run after his vehicle, and finally he reluctantly let us in. And
What?
then he drove in circles, probably for 5 to 10 minutes,
For mileage to
just to
build the
run up
point.
the miles.
Yep.
And then
So
we
that happened
tipped
to
it,
me.
then we tipped him on top of that to be extra nice. But if I ever see that again, I'm never tipping.
I've taken quite a few,
And he
and
he lied to our face and said, "Oh, I don't know where that hotel is." And this is a guy that
he's trying to get the mileage up.
he
Yeah,
exclusively picks people up from Disney World and drops them off. Picks people up at Universal Studios.
right.
That's his route.
Well, you have GPS right in front of you, right? You're on Uber,
But
so there's
we
GPS.
had experiences with some good drivers. There were definitely some good drivers in there. One of them said he used to work at Disney World and now he does
Yeah,
this. And
a lot of people are doing
this
it.
guy just lied to us. He said, "Oh, whoops! I guess this is a parking lot." And he was a bad actor. In fact, in terms of unbelief, his the believability factor. He just wasn't good at acting.
So
So I guess not everyone's good at acting.
some
But
people are so afraid of Uber like that, because of that. That's my father and I built a whole business based on the basically being the anti-Uber. It's like, all right, my dad's like, it's like, how about I just like take care of the people that know me already that need a ride or something. You know what I mean? And or need a driver for whatever, or security or something like that. Driver and security, whatever. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like, and we could hire out other people, but instead of Uber, Uber, you don't know who you're gonna get. You really don't. You can kind of put in a preference for luxury and sometimes,
Mhm.
but in our business, we always had to wear a suit and a tie, and it was like it was pretty strict, but it was like totally because people don't trust Ubers because of the horror stories. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And the
Yeah,
other thing,
I know celebrities in Hollywood, they exclusively don't take regular. I mean, maybe they do modernly because you hear about them talk about it. But
Sometimes,
in in
probably. Yeah.
in Hollywood for the past 50 years, there's like a limousine service that is
Yeah.
exclusively for higher end clientele.
Interesting. It's
You can,
one
you can
company.
see, yeah, it's the same one company because they have a certain code on the back of their vehicles.
Interesting.
I think it says TCP on the back of
No kidding.
every single one of their vehicles.
So if you
And
see that, it's
I did see a celebrity go from a club to his black Escalade looking Uber, but it wasn't an Uber. It was this limousine company.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not always limousines. Sometimes it's
No,
an
no, no.
Escalade. Sometimes it's something else.
Yeah, we always have the Escalator. The usually it's what my dad has is Cadillacs. Like in that book, that Irish book that I forgot again. It's him, and then behind him is like a Cadillac. He's not, but like we use that, and people prefer. They actually prefer to go like low key, and so a limousine is just obnoxious, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of obnoxious, right? Especially nowadays, like so it might we'd have zero of those, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like in terms of like a Lincoln, like a town car or like just a nice SUV,
Mhm.
safe, and comfortable and big and can't go wrong with that. So yeah, a lot of people do take those, but we have a business that's it's totally separate from Uber. Like, like and you know us already. The people, the
Mhm.
clients, quote unquote, are
Yeah.
already friends of like our parents. So it's like it's crazy. So it's some you're right. It's just like, Uber, it could be dangerous. You don't know who you're gonna get. So watch out, people. Watch
So
out out there.
my movie, like I was saying, I have like 9 to 15 voice actors from different universes far, far away. But I need specifically human beings in California, and preferably Southern Central California. And I asked this one guy who said he's an actor, and I believe him in person. I said, yeah, if you're interested, you could be in my movie. And he's like, let me see the script. And I was like, I'm good. No
Nah, yeah,
thanks. But
it's
I
not how
do
it
have a
works.
script. I do have a script. I have
Oh,
index card. I have this many index cards. The even more than the number David Lynch recommends for a
yeah,
script. I have like 100 to 150 index cards. Plus, I have many pages on my computer and many notes on my phone. And
yeah.
I'm putting them currently onto the legal pads, physical legal pads, and it's always the same process when I
Oh,
transfer from one to another. It's always the same. This is how it is. And this is how I wrote my ghost hunting book, which is done.
that's
Every
right.
time I would transfer it from one area to another, the chapter would totally change. It's a
That's a
totally new
great book.
chapter.
I
Totally
think
new
that's
chapter. I'm gonna move it. I'll move this scene over here. It'll be a totally different scene just from moving it, and that's
yeah.
okay. It's
No, that's fine.
it's a metamorphosis
I was gonna say,
process,
yeah,
but the script is going great. See, the
good.
premise was always the rock solid core of my movie, Necktie Lumaton, and man, Lumaton. I saw an ad on Instagram. Uh, it's like Luton or something. It's so close. Like
Oh,
I understand Lumaton sounds generic, but
people like it.
I like it a lot because I didn't come to the conclusion of Lumaton from stealing from anything. I came to the conclusion of Lumaton. You said people like it. I invented the word from my favorite word of all time.
Illumination.
I don't know why this is my favorite word of all time, but it just happens to be my favorite word. And of course, I have to look it up how to pronounce it. I don't want to mess
Yeah.
it up.
I've said it. I've
The
loved,
word is tetragrammaton.
tetragrammaton.
Tetragrammaton is one of my favorite words, if not my favorite word. Tetragrammaton.
Really?
Why? I don't know. It's a very mysterious,
It is cool. Yeah. Tetra.
metaphysical word, miraculous word. Tetragrammaton. I just like the word a lot, and I like the word Luna. I like the word Pluto, and I
Hmm.
tried to work Luna, Pluto in many different ways. I like plutonium. I like anything Pluto related.
Ooh, that's the unconscious. Yeah.
And so I couldn't really find any good matches with Pluto
Right.
with that weren't taken.
It's
Pluto
tough.
is a very common, anything Pluto related is already taken.
Yeah.
And tetragrammaton, there's many variations not taken. Um,
Hmm.
but the MMATON in Lumaton comes from tetragrammaton, just me grabbing words, pulling things apart. And they do say that the name of God is
I was
tetragrammaton.
gonna say,
Yeah,
right.
it's a metaphysical,
Very
spiritual
cool.
word, apparently. It's used
Yeah, I
in
was,
mystical circles and the
yep,
occult and the non occult, just the spiritual realms,
yeah,
you know?
it's right from the Bible, supposedly.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think that's cool. I didn't know it was from that. I've texted into this guy Karmic X who does a show on YouTube,
Mhm.
and he's far out. He looks like he's way into Max Headroom. I see the T-shirt you have.
Yeah, this is a vintage Max Headroom T-shirt.
Very cool.
It's hard to get your size because 9 times out of 10 it's a kid size.
Yeah,
So I actually got an
that's cool.
adult size, and this is a very
There it is.
rare shirt from 1987. I mean, this is the
So
real deal.
Karmic is like so Karmic X I see is like kind of like very much like a Max Headroom type character.
Mhm.
But for like if you put him in this age, he is a fascinating human being. Like he makes music. He's from Minnesota in the middle of a town of like 200 people. Never saw the ocean
Yeah,
until
I don't know too much about him. I mean, I could check out some of his videos or whatever.
yeah. It's funny. It's like like he's just honest and
Mhm.
good person. Like like and so I did get to talk to him. But anyway, I told him about the movie and I asked him, and he said, "Yeah, I'd like to be in it. Sure, why not?"
Mhm.
Just as a voice act, because he has this really cool like voice. I'm Karmic X, Karmic X, like he just has this like. It'd be cool to have him, and I think Karmic X in the video, or Felicia rather, Gillespie, his girlfriend, his comedian that was on Kill Tony.
Well,
But like,
I mean,
yeah.
I appreciate, and I'll be happy to have him if he really wants to be in
but
it.
But the point is, he said he couldn't get he pronounced it. What how did he read it as not Lumaton. He read it as Lumation.
Mhm.
He thought it was Lumation. Necktie.
Mhm.
He was like necktie Lumation. Sounds pretty cool. Like he even just like the phrase because it is. It's like Lumation, but it's like but people see Lumaton.
Mhm.
I think they see Lumaton because they're so used to
Well,
like oh
The LU comes from Luna,
that's
and the
oh really
LU also comes from Pluto. So I guess
that's George.
I did get some Pluto in there just without the P.
Did you know Jordan, who's been on the show many times?
Mhm.
Her cat is called Luna.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. So, and she wanted to say hi. She wanted to let us know that she did a little prayer for the show tonight because she can't be
Oh,
here.
okay.
But
Well,
she
thank
did like
you.
a little prayer. I guess it's on Instagram or something. She
Mhm.
was saying. But thank you, Jordan, and for prayers of negativity coming to friends and family or something like that, or herself maybe.
Cool. Thank you.
But it's weird. It's like a not weird. I don't want to say weird, but it's like a circle. This crystal in there. It's like this huge, like I don't know. Looks like a dagger, but it's a crystal. I don't
Mhm.
know. I have to ask her next time or something like that. I just wanted to show. So I got recently something off of eBay that usually never pops up. It would never pop up. The last
I
time it
want to show
did.
something too. I want to show
All
something.
right.
Let's show that
Uh,
first.
Let me show this first. All right, cool. And let me take out the stuff out of it first. There's a bunch of stuff. Okay. So here you can barely see it. It's very old. Can you see it in
Cloud
the
Atlas.
Cloud Atlas in theaters? Blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
So it's a leather-bound journal. This thing has been with me since probably like 2007-ish.
Mhm.
And it popped up on eBay. I remember paying like $50 for it. And I actually used it. I didn't put it away and freaking put it in like plastic or there's stains on it.
Yeah, I've seen the movie. I've never read the book, but I've seen the movie.
So, oh, you haven't? I've read two done both, but I love it, right? and
Hmm.
inside you have um, the signature of Robert Frobisher on musical notation. And it's
Hmm.
the Cloud Atlas Sextet. If you've ever seen the movie, it's the music that plays um, over the whole thing.
Hmm.
And anyway, there's a bunch of crazy notes in here, but this is what makes it rare. Is like there's the musical notation. Like you can actually read this musical notation,
Wow.
um, and it's like a score of how to play the Cloud Atlas Sextet from Rock. So it's kind of meta. This is so old. Recently, what popped up, and they have something that's for sale for like thousands of dollars. I could never get, and it's a very rare package that
Cool.
only like a signed script from the cast and stuff. But
Hmm.
I'll never get that because I don't know, it's too much money. But what I did get was this. So this recently popped up. I was like, oh my god, this is so close. Another one, another notebook. This isn't leather though.
So
It's
you're a big
mo-
fan of the movie?
yeah, in the book too, and just the idea,
I mean, the book. That's what I meant.
the book and the movie. But this is
Hmm.
more the movie because it says in theaters promotional thing.
Ah,
Somebody kept it in
so
perfect
they
condition.
only handed that out to like cast and crew, maybe.
Yeah, it has a pen. It has a pen. Oh, here it is.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
Yeah, sometimes they'll put something like that in the
yeah,
bag at the red carpet premiere.
something like that. So but look at even there's a USC. Hold on.
USB. What's on it?
I don't know. I'm afraid to put it. Probably the Matrix. It's from the people that made the Matrix. But
It might be some virus.
inside is nothing. So there's
Uh,
no musical notation. It's just a notebook, and you can
I
take
wonder
this
what's
out
on the drive.
and replace it. I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know. Should I try it?
Well, put it in a laptop that you don't care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this one. Exactly. So that's my new collectible thing. Um,
Mhm.
that Cloud Atlas.
Supposedly, hackers do drop USBs in public, purposely hoping people pick it up and pop it in there.
Wow, that's a good idea.
So
Yeah,
watch out.
for
If
them.
you ever see a USB stick
Don't.
just sitting on the curb, it might have been put there by someone who wants to steal your data, like on a
Yeah, I
major
don't.
level.
Yeah, that you just
Occasionally, I see a little SD card on the ground, and I've picked up a couple of them, but I've never, and that's different. I don't think you can do too much, but maybe you can. I don't know the details, but it's probably just a discarded little SD card. I've never checked to see what's on it, but I
interesting.
do have. I'm willing to show a few things from the movie. This is
Cool.
classified top secret, and there's probably not too many people watching, so I think
No,
it's okay. I think it's okay to show
things
these
will
few
be fine.
things. But
You can always private it.
there's this amazing artist, and I know his real name is Honda, but that's I think that's his real first or last name is Honda. But his um, artist name is, and maybe this is his brand name.
Honda.
It's called Mo. I can't pronounce it. It's Mouco Yama. So Mouko
He's
Yama. So
okay.
Mouko Yama has created these amazing figures. They're called sofubi, and
What are those?
sofubi is. Let me just open this one up so
That
you
looks
can see it
delicious.
a little
I
bit
want.
better.
Okay, let me eat that. Let me see that. A fork and
So
a
here's a
knife.
sofubi.
I'm
It's
gonna
a
eat both.
Japanese figure. Sofubi just translates to soft toy, soft
Yes.
figure,
Okay.
soft vinyl figure. And these ones aren't soft. These ones are hard because they're higher quality. To be honest, you don't want the soft ones. You want the nice hard vinyl ones. But even though it's hard, it's still a sofubi because it's a genre of art,
Very
and it
cool.
pretty much originated in Japan. And I don't know if you recognize the figure on this guy.
The moon from
Yeah, this
yeah,
is the moon from that famous movie, A Trip to
one
the
of the
Moon.
first movies. Yeah.
A
Hmm.
Trip to the Moon, I believe it's called. A
Interesting.
Trip
That's
to the
pretty
Moon,
cool.
1902, originally called what's the
Based
original?
on like Jules Verne, isn't it?
Yeah, Trip to the Moon. In French, it's called Le Voyage dans la Lune.
Right. But it's
And A
very
Trip to
cool.
the Moon. And it's a phenomenal movie. I love this movie. I love it. It's one of the first movies ever made. It's mega famous, and it's public domain.
The
I'm
thing is
actually
very cool.
I'm actually going to show clips of A Trip to the Moon in my movie, and so I wanted something associated with it, and I found these amazing figures by
That
this
is
guy.
so cool. Huh.
I still don't know how to pronounce it. Mouko Yama. So Mouko Yama, shout out to Mouko Yama. See,
Absolutely.
I ordered multiple of these to go in the fictional toy store in my movie. This is for
What?
the toy store in my movie. I
It's
have
just a prop.
multiple of these. These are props for my movie. And
Do they have gremlin? Do they have
I don't think
gremlin?
I'm going to let them go. I think I'm going to hold them forever, put them on the shelf, and it's going to be in my
They are
permanent
very
collection forever. And I didn't
that is
want to show props for my movie, but
that's
Momoko Yama gave me a great deal on these. I ordered like every head color that existed, and I ordered like 4 bodies. And he's like, "Hey, you only ordered 4 bodies, and the arms cost separate, and the body cost separate, and the head cost separate." And this is something I noticed in Japanese websites. There's a Japanese T-shirt website where you pick the T-shirt you want, and then you pick the design you want, and they put them together. But you can also pick the design without a T-shirt, and they'll put it on a piece of paper if you want it as a poster. Because this one guy, he like
hmm,
screen prints posters, is what I
right.
thought. I thought it was a poster
Okay.
screen print. I didn't even know it was a T-shirt website. So it's basically a T-shirt website, but he will also
Wow.
screen print on a poster. And I didn't know
Right.
that basically on 90% of the items, you have to select a T-shirt. There's no poster option, and you have to put the two together yourself. And a Mooko Yama
Huh.
is the similar Japanese. See, this is separate from America.
Fascinating.
We don't think like this in America. We don't do stuff like this. So it's a little bit of a foreign concept. But in Japan, piecing it together, the T-shirt site is very similar to this Sofubi site. This guy, you have to order the body, you have to order the arms, and you have to order the head. And if you just order all the pieces to the figure, because if you don't, he's going to be like, "Hey, you need the body, you need the arms." But he was so nice knowing that I didn't know what I was doing because I ordered 3 times from him. I was like, you know what, I got to get every color. So I ordered all the colors of the heads, and I was like, you know what, this is a Clockwork Orange themed
Yeah.
body.
Is it?
Yes, he does put his own personal clown ruffles, but this shirt and the cod piece and the boots,
Oh,
it's
that's so
it's
cool.
officially a Clockwork Orange inspired body.
That
And
rule.
this is just a generic arm, but this is a trip to the moon head. And this is his own personal design. He designed this himself. And I've noticed in the Sofubi world, there's like 10 different artists that have used this, their own variation of the moon head.
Really?
And I like this one a lot. I'm gonna maybe try to get some other moon heads, but some of them are $1,000. This Sofubi universe is too rich for my blood. I have to save up
Wow.
money to get some of these figures. And I ordered 2 very cool Sofubis, super rare. And I got them at a good price. And they got lost in the mail. It got permanently lost in the mail. Luckily,
That's
buyer
terrible.
protection, I got my money back. But I
Oh,
feel
that
really bad for the seller because, and I looked it up, 0.5 to 1% chance your mail will be lost permanently forever.
no.
1% chance. So I've been ordering stuff online for over 30 years, and I've never had mail lost ever, other than that one time.
Yeah, maybe
So
George.
because that order disappeared, I got my money back. I was able to get this guy's stuff instead, and I was able to get
So
10
cool.
times more figures, 10 times more figures. And this guy was so nice. He's like, you know what? You ordered all these heads. I'll give you the bodies for free. And he threw in the bodies for
Oh,
free. And I was like, wow, thank you. So I just wanted to shout out
yeah,
Mouko
absolutely.
Yama. He's a very amazing artist. And this
Thank
isn't
you.
even
That's
his original, obviously, concept, but he has many original head concepts. This is just the
interesting.
one I wanted because it's the one I was scouting out. He has a cat, the head's exploding. He has a parrot. He has a skull. He has a naked rat head. I mean, that's what it's called, naked mole rat. That's just a
Wow.
type of mole rat. He has a Komodo dragon. He has some Baphomet of all things. I didn't
Oh
notice.
my God, really?
He
Wow.
has a demon grandma, demon bride, Iron
Where's
Mask,
he based out
Raptor,
of? Where's
Cyclops.
he?
He's he's based in Japan. I got this
Yeah.
from Japan, so it's a legitimate Sofubi from Japan. I don't
Wow.
know if it's strict like manga and anime, where oh
Probably.
I live in Chicago and I make anime manga. No, you don't. Anime manga is
Right.
exclusively
Strictly.
out of Japan, and if you're not
Yeah.
making it in
True.
Japan, it's not anime manga. It's anime manga
Yeah.
style. So I don't know
Same
if
thing with the baguette. Yeah.
I don't know if it's Sofubi style if you're outside of Japan, but I know there are a lot of international, and there's a guy in Mexico that does Sofubi, and so maybe it's a generic term. So some guy in Mexico makes his own moonheads, and his are solid body, his are solid cast. I like the fact that these are hollow
Yeah.
and you can move them. It's
Breakable.
it's
Yeah.
better than the solid cast ones personally.
I
I like.
agree. That's so
I wanted a different arm color here, and I can't remove it, and I don't want to break it. The guy
um
literally he uses
I
a
like
heat
the avocado. There's nothing
he
wrong with it. I
uses
like
a
it.
heat gun, and he puts it in and like snaps it in. I don't know if you can unsnap it.
Wow. No, don't.
I don't want to break it. It's too
Yeah.
beautiful of a piece
Yeah.
of art, and so I'm just
That
gonna
is
have
cool
it.
that it moves at all, you know?
And I'm gonna have these in my movie. I got a glow in the dark body, glow in the dark
Look at
arms,
that. Oh
and
my
it's a
God.
clear head.
That is
They,
so
they ran they
cool.
ran out of glow in the dark heads. So at
That
least
is
I got a
amazing.
lot of stuff. Let me give you an example. I got the meat, and this is meat color of all things. This is a popular one on his
No
site, the
way.
meat color. All
The
I did was
face
buy the
is
meat
so
head.
good.
That's it. And then he threw in the meat body and the meat arms. So I got to keep this forever. He's too nice of a guy. Um,
I want to say I've seen that kind of thing before, like in that
yeah.
style with
So
the head.
Fubi, I've seen it 100 times. So Fubi started as Godzilla action figures at the 99-cent store. If you've ever been to a 99-cent store, specifically maybe a Chinese 99-cent store, the toy section, you'll see Sofubi. You'll see Chinese Sofubi. You'll see the occasional Japanese Sofubi, usually a Godzilla themed figure for 99 cents. And it's thin and it's plastic. It's really cheap, flimsy. Well, this has expanded into almost a graffiti universe of really creative figure artists. And
Yeah,
it's no longer a 99-cent store toy anymore.
this is
It has
brilliant.
exploded into a multi-million-dollar industry. And you'll see
I
Sofubis. I only made 10 of them. There's only 10 in the world, and they sell for $2,000 a piece
right.
on the aftermarket. After someone grabs it off the website for $100, they resell it for 1,000. And so it's a pretty
Yeah. There's so many
interesting,
little
interesting
collectible
world.
markets. Yeah, there's like mine. I teach, and so like some of my students are, they're in like the high school age or whatever,
Mhm.
and and like they're not so much into Labubu, but they say it a lot. It's annoying to me, but I
Yeah, I'm not
don't.
gonna have any Labubu in my movie.
But they do collect like these odd, like one of them collects. I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head, but it is like when they show them to me, I'm like, that is pretty cool, actually,
Mhm.
And like the cool thing at my school too is that there's a 3D printer. There's two of them actually. There's like a kind of like a mid-grade one, and then it's like
Mhm.
a huge one that's like,
Mhm.
you know, but it takes a long time. And if there's one little mistake, you can't open a window because the wind will disrupt it and it'll
Mhm.
mess up the entire thing. One
Right.
little tiny, so you do it overnight. You let it run
Mhm.
overnight and hoping that the computer doesn't randomly restart or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's
Mhm.
really tough. But you can 3D print stuff and like
Mhm.
sometimes they 3D print figures that remind me very much of that style. So
Yeah,
it's
I
very
don't know if he 3D prints this stuff. It's possible,
no,
but I
not
don't see
him.
any lines. I don't see any
Not
lines. I think this is made the old-fashioned way, where he'll sculpt it
the
and mold
mold.
it, and it's
Yep,
an old-fashioned sculpt molding process.
love it.
I
That's
wouldn't
so
be
cool.
against a 3D printed thing, but I
So
very
all
much like it. See, I
Oh,
wanted to go to Japan and have a Japanese-esque shop. So I'm
right.
going to create from scratch a Japanese-esque shop. I wanted it to be authentic. I don't want to just grab stuff from Dollar
Absolutely.
General and throw it up. Here's some Dollar General crud you see every day. This movie takes place 100 years in the future. I want there to be some intense futuristic visuals, and I thought this just really jumped out.
I love it, man.
And
I think it's
I'm gonna probably have a screen showing a trip to the moon behind it or next to it or whatever the case. I mean, it's public
very
domain.
cool.
It's a
It is.
movie from 1902. Anyone can transformatively use it, even non-transformatively use it. It's 100% public domain.
Yeah. I think, well, it's cool too because you're giving a shout out just to like cinema history,
Yeah.
because a trip to the moon it's like a language of film. If there is a language of like filmmaking,
Mhm.
that's like part of the alphabet. You know what I mean? If there's
Yeah.
like construction of movies that are the alphabet to the language that's filmmaking,
Mhm.
one of those letters is probably Kubrick, which I wanted to talk to you about real before we go or whatever. But
Mhm.
this is an eyes wide shut thing. But
Okay.
um, yeah, there's these different letters. I think a trip to the moon would be like letter A of movie, or
Yeah, I
maybe
just
not
love A Trip to the Moon so much.
Metropolis.
I had to give a shout out. It's it's the fact that it's public domain. I
It still
can
holds
use it,
up, by the way. It
and I
still
can.
holds up.
I love it. I mean, they
I
get
think
to
it's
the
just
moon, and there's
public.
like all these crazy creatures. It's
Yeah,
very fantastical. It's a very
I love it.
beautiful movie.
No, it speaks so much of like the time. I mean, there's so many like cool things about it. Like, and you think about how people actually would experience it and stuff, and how much it actually is in films that like reference it in ways that you would are like inside jokes upon inside jokes even.
I'm
Like,
sure. I'm sure even
there's a
that.
movie about the making of it, I think,
I'm
right?
sure that movie inspired even War of the Worlds and the mindset of the
It
pop
is, right?
culture of the minds of the people. Like, are there creatures on Mars? Are there creatures on all these planets? They didn't know anything about the
Well, isn't it based
details.
on it's Jules Verne, right? And he was
Yeah,
talking about
most
the
definitely.
canals on Mars, and like he
Mhm.
was in, especially in Paris, he was like one of the height of he was seen as the height of like intellectuals and like a prophet of sci-fi. And to this day, if you go to the Louvre, not the Louvre, I'm sorry, the Eiffel Tower, which
Mhm.
is in Paris, everybody knows. But if you go to the top of it, the tippity top, and not too many people know this, but there's a room. It's a circular room with windows all around it, right? It's like a
Mhm.
penthouse suite, and it was a salon that they built when they built the Eiffel Tower, and they have like dummies of like wax Madame Tussauds, like wax dummies of
Mhm.
Tesla, Einstein, and like Jules Verne, and like H.G. Wells, and
Oh,
they're
very
all
cool.
they're all sitting, but they're all costume dummies,
Mhm.
and but the front, because that's what the guy who built the Eiffel Tower imagined the tippity top of the world would be, filled with
Uh,
like the philosopher kings and stuff like
cool.
that, right? Pretty
Mhm.
interesting, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but speaking of the alphabet of Kubrick and being like eyes wide shut, did you? I don't know if you saw it, but this guy Christopher Knowles had been criticizing a lot of like the crap that you see about Eyes Wide Shut, like
Mhm.
that you see from conspiracy theorists and for the most part, but also just film uh, supposed critics or whatever. Uh,
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of anti-Kubrick stuff of late.
have
Some
you?
people don't get it. Some people don't get it. I don't understand it.
So yeah.
I mean,
Well, this guy isn't anything.
I would say whoever watched The Shining for the first time and walked out hating it, you're looking for a cheap slasher. You're looking for
Yeah,
a cheap gutter, really flimsy. You're looking for some cheesy, corny slasher flick. Is what you're looking for. The Shining is not that. It's an
no,
amazing. It transcends the genre.
exactly.
Some people say Kubrick didn't understand the horror genre. It's not a horror. It's a thriller.
Yeah,
It's a thriller with some
exactly.
horror themes. It's its own thing. It transcends the horror genre. It's
And,
amazing,
and I was,
phenomenal. And I saw
yeah,
some actor saying it's a piece of crap recently. I can't remember who the actor is. I don't know.
Oh,
Did you see
good.
that clip?
No.
But I disagree with
Um,
him 100%. He doesn't know what he's
yeah.
talking about.
No, but I think the same, you can say the same about any of his movies that they transcend the genre that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Like he took different genres and said, let me tackle this sci-fi 2001, transcends it. So
Yeah,
you don't even know, right?
2001 is the best sci-fi of all time, period, even to this day. No one
Absolutely,
disputes
right?
that. The
Like,
dialogue might be not fast-paced. It's its own different thing,
yeah,
but it still holds up as the best of the
yeah.
best.
So, but like there's that, and then but so now let's go to Eyes Wide Shut,
Mm-hmm.
and then what people don't see and what this person Christopher Knowles, who I respect a lot and I've asked on the show because he's brilliant. He's from Boston. He's written a few books. He's a little older, but really like good. The Secret Sun is his blog. It's like a fantastic blog. He's very much in demand. He's written a few books. I like the way he thinks. He puts like his musical knowledge is incredible, um, like encyclopedic. He's written books on music and everything, and he knows a lot. Anyway, his take on the Eyes Wide Shut thing is he found out, and I didn't know this actually, and I thought I knew quite a bit about Eyes Wide Shut, but Trom Nouvelle, which is the little novella that
Mm-hmm.
which means night story, a dream story, right?
Yeah, based on that. Yeah.
But there's four different adaptations, which
Mm-hmm.
including Eyes Wide Shut, of course. But like so, other than Eyes Wide Shut, there's three
Mm-hmm.
adaptations. I only knew about the one of them,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of it in the third. So his thesis is that because a lot of people say, "Oh, Tron Nouvelle is just the book that," and Kubrick didn't care about the book. No, he's going exactly plot by the book, but at the same time, he's transcending it, which he did with 2001, which was also a book. Full Metal Jacket, also a book. The Shining, also a book. So Kubrick, what he's not seeing is that Kubrick sees that plot point. He has to follow the book a little plot points a little bit. He has to see his predecessors a little bit and study them. Right. So his point is that okay, yeah, points that out, but he really thinks what happened is that I could be wrong. I only saw the video once. It is on YouTube. It is free. I forget the title, but go to the Secret Sun Kubrick. I'm sure it's there. It's a
Mm-hmm.
20-minute clip or so. Very well edited, good music and stuff. But he thinks that it's based on the Mandy character or the person, the actress in Eyes Wide Shut at the end that supposedly unalived, is based on a real person that happened in the Playboy Mansion in like the 70s or something. And
Well,
Kubrick is revealing it, which is
I wouldn't
stupid.
take too much stock in that personally.
Yeah, it's
Without
like
some solid concrete proofs, I
but
wouldn't.
like it's
I
too
wouldn't say.
provincial. Like it's in like by provincial. It's like I mean like it's too close. Like Kubrick doesn't think in terms of like, oh, I'll make a whole movie to reveal this tiny little like unsolved mystery case and I'll code it in
Yeah.
this incredible like no, he's transcending all of that. Like he's not thinking like I agree, like everybody like there's a lot of BS about Eyes Wide Shut. There's a lot of interesting things. There's a lot of you know what I mean? But like yeah, and he's trying to cut through that. I get it, but
Mm-hmm.
not everything is like a cold case murder documentary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Eyes Wide Shut. It took 400 days to shoot. Started in '96 and ended in '98. And
Right?
there's a lot of reference material. I think most definitely Kubrick watched the other movies that are also based on the novel. There's a
Yeah.
couple other movies. I believe one of them has similar masks that they wear for the masked,
The Venetian,
ball,
yeah. Yep.
the Venetian masks. And clearly, Kubrick bought those Venetian masks in Venice. They're for sale.
Well,
Tourists can buy those.
it's true. But
Someone traced down and they said, "Oh, we found the exact style." They still make it to this day.
in
Um,
St. Albans, the town where he lived in England,
mhm.
St. Albans, his property, I think in the center of the town, there is a statue with a person with a Venetian mask on.
Yeah, I think I've seen that
That's true.
statue. Yeah.
I think I saw that somewhere, but
I,
hey,
I don't think he was killed because of the
no.
details of Eyes Wide Shut. I mean, Eyes Wide Shut is
Yeah.
mild compared to even a Cat Williams podcast appearance.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Eyes Wide Shut didn't reveal much. Cat Williams revealed more in one podcast than Kubrick revealed in Eyes Wide Shut.
Wait, Cat Williams did? Huh. I love Cat Williams.
Cat Williams said, so and so was with another dude in a secret room in the mansion party. I
Oh,
was there. I was at the mansion party. And
okay.
then he'll never say that
Got him.
person's name ever again. Like he'll say, okay, I learned my lesson. I won't say specific names ever again unless it's Diddy. You know.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Forgot
You
about
don't know
that.
that? Well, we're talking 10 years ago. Cat Williams
Right.
dropped the name of someone at a mansion party. He
I love
said,
Cat.
he said, I entered Hollywood. I mean, if you just watch his Pimpin' special, have you seen Pimpin'?
The new one?
No, it's literally like one of his
Oh,
first specials from 10
I've
plus
seen the
years
old
ago.
one. I've seen everything he's done up till like the latest one on Netflix.
Okay, well,
There's a new one
it's
on.
Pimpin' is one of his really old specials from a long
Yeah,
time ago. He
yeah,
says,
yeah.
I haven't been famous that long. I want to see who's in these rooms in this mansion party. What's going on?
Oh,
I
I
don't know
have.
what you...
I know the skit. Yeah, 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 yep. And a lot of people cite that in their conspiracy
And
theories.
theoretically speaking, he could have been blackballed from Hollywood for a number of years because of that alone. It's
Yeah,
possible. I mean, he
the
was
way
at a
he
Target.
delivers them.
He was
He's
at a
smart.
Target, and he got triggered for something. I think he slapped the Target employee or something, and he was
He's tiny.
arrested. He was arrested or something. I don't know what happened, but if I had to guess, he has one of his DVDs in his hand showing the employee, "That's me. I'm famous." I don't know what went down, but maybe he encountered the rudest Target employee in the world. We don't know what happened. We don't know.
He has some. He seems like well, his appearances on Rogan are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Where he goes on Rogan and he's like a wizard. Like Rogan thinks the world of him, always has as a comedian. He'll like
Well,
he
he's one of my
wants
favorite comedians. I mean,
he
he's up.
wants to be yeah, he's one of Rogan. So like he
I mean,
wants
I
to
would say
be
he's in the
that.
top 5 funniest comedians alive. I think he's
Just when I think
hilarious.
about
I
of him,
think Cat Williams is a modern
I'm
day
happy.
Richard
Like he's
Pryor.
just
I think he's a modern day Richard
I like
Pryor,
that.
not because they're both black, just because they're both super hilarious.
Yeah,
I've always liked Cat Williams.
he's just so unique though. Like the
My
way
number one comedian
his
is
physicality.
it's
It's
Harland Williams,
I
and then
love Harlan.
Cat Williams, his exact identical twin brother.
Harlan's
They're
so
up there.
Harlan's so underrated. I think he's such an
Harland
underrated.
is super underrated.
He was doing like when I was started doing podcasts with
Mm-hmm.
the Tolkien professor, which I was talking about, I think last episode. One of the podcasts that were out there were Harlan Williams. I would go to comedy like top 10, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Rogan was on there, but like Harlan was like, and then you go to like his thing, and not too many people had episodes. Kevin Smith had quite a few episodes, and then he had a whole network, and it was amazing. So there's tons of content, but Smodcast and stuff. But like I remember Harlan Williams had a huge backload of episodes. Like I don't know how many episodes has he done. He's done like over 1,000,
Well,
2,000.
Harland had an original podcast with
Harlan Highway.
just him. No, pre-Harland
Oh,
Highway. Before the Harland Highway, Harland had a podcast with many years of episodes where he was just him and no one else.
right.
And and he would get celebrities asking him all the time, "Oh, could I be on your podcast?" And Harlan said, "It doesn't work that way. It's just me."
That's cool. Yeah.
And he would do funny voices and he would interview himself as a
He's
character.
so funny.
And he did that for years. We're talking 10 years. His podcast, pre-Harland Highway, was just him interviewing himself. And yes, he would get phone calls. He had a phone number and you could call in.
Weird.
And he would play the clips on his voicemail from his voicemail. He played the clips.
Uh,
I never called the number. I never called in. I probably should have.
Him and yeah, I love him. I think I called in. I think I spoke to him like one, like I got through somehow.
Well, he
Um,
didn't take any of the calls. That voicemail is exclusively
no,
for messages.
I called him. I want to say I talked to him somehow.
You couldn't talk
You
to
know what I
him.
mean?
The phone number he gave out was just an answering machine.
No, but there was something.
Okay, okay. I mean,
I,
it's
I
possible.
maybe he was a guest into taking question. I forget what it was, but I love him
Well,
too.
I told
I
Harland that I'm going to the stupid Foo Fighters festival exclusively to see you, Harland, in the comedy tent. I don't care about the Foo
no,
Fighters. I'm here for Harland Williams and Billy Idol. Harland
that's
Williams, Billy Idol, and I don't care about the Foo Fighters. I told that to Harland. And Harland, I didn't know this. I didn't know because I'm parking, I'm getting out of my car. I'm actually going straight to the comedy tent. But before I went to the comedy tent, I did go to the main arena and look around and see what there is. And there's a Foo Fighters museum, which I was like, I'm not into Foo Fighters. I ain't into
right.
that. I went
My
to
girlfriend.
the t-shirt booth. I bought a Billy Idol t-shirt because they didn't have any Harlan Williams t-shirts. All they had was Foo Fighters, Foo
Oh no,
Fighters, Foo Fighters, and Billy Idol. And I'm like, I'm gonna get the Billy Idol shirt. So I bought the Billy Idol shirt, and the guy at the t-shirt booth is like, "Ooh, finally someone's getting a Billy Idol shirt. I remember back in my day, 30 years ago, I was right here selling Billy Idol t-shirts for the Billy Idol concert in the 80s." And I'm like, okay, thanks for the life story, dude. Uh,
sounds like my
well,
type of
I
guy.
I get the Billy Idol shirt. Jeep has like some booth, and Vans has some booth. So
Cool.
I get like a free Jeep pencil, and I go over
No,
there and I
like
get a free Vans keychain, and I didn't know Harland is on stage telling jokes
oh,
like 15 minutes before I got there. Harlan was so excited that I told him I'm going there for him and Billy Idol.
no,
And he gets up on the Billy Idol stage and he told jokes to the people that don't know what's going on. Like there is no event. He's just test check 1 2, and he told jokes
no
for like
way.
maybe 15 minutes, and I missed it. But I
Uh,
caught his main act, and he told jokes for like 30 minutes. I caught his main act in the comedy tent. And then
so
before
funny.
his act, Billy Idol came on. So he
Yeah, he's
opened.
so underrated.
It's just so he could say he opened for Billy Idol. That's why.
He's so underrated.
He's a cool
He's
dude. He's
uh,
underrated.
I
Well,
was
I
a
was
fan.
front row in the comedy tent, and he made fun of me, and he knew who I was. I mean, he knew I was the guy that what I was waiting. I was front row.
He's always like, buddy, buddy. But like,
He told my favorite joke. He told my favorite joke.
what is it? How's it
Man,
go?
I don't know it word for word, and I'm horrific at quoting people's jokes.
That's okay.
But this is the joke. Did you know? This is a fact. Did you know? This is a little known fact. And then he does like his head movements and he's funny everything he does. Did you know
Uh,
that a rhinoceros is in fact indeed, and this is a factual scientific uh, piece of information about rhinoceroses. Did you know that the rhinoceros, is simply a white trash unicorn?
I can. That was perfect. I could totally, because as a Harlan fan, you imagine him saying that.
I can't deliver it at all. My delivery is garbage, but
No,
he
but you
delivers it.
got it.
Even though I heard that joke 10 times before,
You got it.
he delivers it perfectly.
No,
And it's
it's
a
I can
hilarious
imagine.
joke. I've heard him tell that joke 10 times. I got to hear him tell it in person. It's a funny joke.
He,
It's
but okay, so what I love about him was okay, so somehow just from being a podcaster for so long and being associated with Tom Green and doing comedy and touring and being a
Mhm.
legend, Rogan, I was waiting for him to be on Rogan.
I mean, they know each other from the
They
comedy
know
school.
they do, but he never had been on the show,
Mhm.
never been ingratiated into the Austin comedy
But
scene.
he's been once now, right?
But so when he was on, I'm like, this is going to be so golden
Mhm.
because it is by far one of the best Joe Rogan episodes of all time is his
Hmm.
appearance because
Hmm.
he ends it by like lifting up his shirt and I think
I
there's
remember that. Yeah,
I
his
forget,
tattoo. His tattoo.
but there's also this he always has a bit where like his arm is broken or something like not that but it's like he's like
Yeah, he got a
I forgot
tattoo simply for
as a
the joke.
snake. It talks about like like a snake and like what are you? Rogan's like, what are you doing? He did. Rogan just sometimes he just does jokes just fly. He'll
Yeah,
just
yeah,
be
I
like
know, I know.
he'll just so you won't even know. So like Harlan is bringing it. Harlan, of course, because when you go on Rogan, you have to go on Kill Tony,
Mm.
which was the thing. Right now it's on Netflix. Kill Tony.
Yeah, I mean,
Not a big fan.
I mean,
Felicia
I'm a
Gillespie.
fan of the
Shout out
people
to
that go
Felicia
on
Gillespie.
Kill Tony,
I'm a fan of
but I'm just not a
Felicia.
fan of Hinchcliffe himself. Not a fan of
No,
Hinchcliffe.
me either.
And this is
I like
me after not ever hearing
he
his
was
name, never heard about him, never who he was, never know who he was. I went to the comedy store, and Hinchcliffe happened to be up there, and he walks up and tells his jokes, and I'm like, eh. And then I see him the next day, 2 days in a row, and he goes up and he tells the exact same set. I'm like, eh. And
yeah,
he's always introduced the same way twice. The
really?
future of comedy. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
future of comedy, folks. The future of comedy. He is the
Stop.
future.
He
He's the
was in
future of comedy. And I mean, his show Kill Tony, obviously very popular, very famous to the point
no,
where
yeah,
even Barron Trump probably tunes in every time because
yeah.
Barron Trump is apparently a fan of Tony Hinchcliffe, and
And
that's why
Theo
he was
Vaughn.
invited to that
Yeah.
Republican convention and told the horrific Puerto Rico joke
Oh, that's
that
right.
totally bombed and backfired. And so
Yeah,
Tony
it
Hinchcliffe is like permanently blackballed by the Democrats in
forgot
Hollywood now.
about that. But
But
so,
so it's a
so,
double-edged sword, you know. But I
uh,
had a chance to go to Kill Tony like 3 times, and I said,
did
no,
you?
I'm gonna check out the women's comedy
Yeah,
event in the belly room. I'm going to check
yeah.
out something else in the original room, something
Good for
else
you.
here, something else here. And I skipped Kill Tony every time. And maybe I wish I went there once just because people like David Spade and Dave Chappelle show up.
That's right.
Cool
That's
people do show up. Harlan Williams has
yeah.
shown up a couple times.
That's
So just for the guests alone, I guess it's worth showing up at, but just not a fan
so
of Hinchcliffe.
me
I
either.
don't see the appeal. If he
No.
gets a shtick, if he gets something that is interesting, the only bit that he repeated was, "I'm a disgusting, gross person." Okay,
Oh God,
that's
never.
not funny. That's not a
Uh,
bit or a shtick that I want to stick around for. You're gross and
right. He's
disgusting.
not
Thanks
funny
for the
stand
info.
up wise. Yeah, he's not really funny stand up wise, but
No, it's not.
conversation roast like, but like he's way overrated. But I love that Tim Heidegger made fun of him of all things. He called it "Kill Timmy," and he comes
I,
out and he's like,
Heidi,
"Hey everybody,
Tim
hi
Heidegger,
Austin, you guys suck," and just like,
Tim
and then
Heidegger,
oh,
Tim Heidegger. Yes,
yeah,
Tim Heidegger
he did an impression of Kill Tony, of
is
30 minutes called "Kill
he's a
Timmy."
pretty funny guy. Tim He-
Yeah.
Tim Heidegger.
No, no,
He's
well they're related.
pretty funny, but not when he's drunk. Tim is a mean drunk. I saw
I
him
didn't
drunk
know.
one time. I saw him drunk one time. He's a mean
Is he?
drunk.
Mean
Just
drunk.
FYI. I mean, maybe I'm a no. Am I?
I think he's
I
relaxed.
don't think I'm a mean drunk. I'm
Oh no,
definitely a happy drunk. Yeah,
I get tired. I
I
just
get
lose.
happy.
I'll
Tim gets mad.
get. Does he really?
Yeah, he was really
I can see
mad.
that. I can see him having anger
See,
issues. He's still
there was
kind
an
of
open bar, and it's an open bar probably because of him. You know what I mean? So
right.
he takes advantage of it
Well,
because maybe it's on his dime. We don't know.
who
But there's
knows?
an open
Company.
bar, and I'm at the Beaver Boys party, and this is a
I
very
love.
old story. It's a very, very, very old story.
It.
But I drove all the way from Arizona to Las Vegas because Eric personally invited me. And
Yep.
Eric said, I'll give you a VIP front row seat to our show. Hope to see you there. He said, because you designed our um, There's My Chippy t shirt, I'm going to give you this VIP pass. I
Cool.
did design the There's My Chippy t-shirt, and they did sell it, and it's no big deal. I mean, I got the inspiration exactly from grabbing uh, their freaking episode and drawing it and putting it on my
Everyone knows that.
computer. and just generating on my computer what I saw on the screen. So in no way, shape, or form did I ever own the intellectual
Well,
property of There's My Chippy.
right.
Eric actually owns that. Eric wrote the skit. Eric wrote
Well,
the There's
DJ
My Chippy
Dugtown
skit.
probably edited it too.
No, Eric told me personally that he
No,
wrote the skit. He said he
no,
liked the
but
show so
edit.
much because he wrote There's My Chippy, Where's My Chippy.
Oh, that makes
Eric
sense. Okay.
did it. Eric
Huh.
was invested in that shirt. He liked it. He invited me because he said
Does
he
seem like an Eric.
personally came up with that skit himself.
That's cool. That's cool.
And so I'm
It does seem
there,
like an
and
Eric.
I think Tim was drinking for an hour before we got there, maybe
Wow,
2 hours
really?
before we got there. So that's why he's a little blasted.
I think he
And
had a
it's a
problem
free open bar. And
before he was
I
married.
was expecting, like, 50 fans, maybe 100 fans, maybe 200 fans, maybe just 20 fans, whatever the case. We
Yeah.
get there, and there's literally just like 4 fans, and
What?
we're like the sixth fan that
No
show up,
way.
and no other
That
fans show up. That's it. There's only 6 fans in the entire Beaver Boys party, and they got like 20 tables. Maybe it's in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 tables, and there's only like 6 fans there, and Tim's a little bummed out.
that's
And
so
there's like a free Beaver Boy hat on each table, and on the way out, I'm like, I'm gonna get a couple extra Beaver Boy hats because no one
did
cares.
you? Did you?
So
You
I
grabbed a few?
grabbed like I they gave
Yeah,
us Beaver Boy hats.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
we
yeah.
sat down and there's a Beaver Boy
Took
hat.
some extras.
And then I went to the bathroom.
What?
Then I went to the bathroom after the entire event. Okay. I'm going to the bathroom at Little Caesar, Caesar's Palace. Tim made the joke. Eric made the joke, Little Caesars, pizza, pizza. Ooh. Even though we're at Caesar's Palace, has nothing to do with Little Caesars. That's a joke. Haha. So
That's
anyway,
pretty
I'm
good.
in the bathroom at
That's a,
Caesar's Palace, right?
mhm.
And there's like 2 Beaver Boys hats like sitting there in the bathroom. Like they chucked them and they just left them
No
in the
way.
bathroom. So I grabbed those 2 hats and I ended
What?
up with like a handful of Beaver Boy hats. And eh, later I did get autographs on the hats because I
Oh
went to
my
so many
God.
Tim and Eric events. I went to one of the actual tapings
Awesome.
of the actual shows.
No way.
The Muscles for Bones episode, I was there at the taping of
What?
that actual episode. That episode was at the Troubadour, the
Right.
famous Troubadour, where Elton John, of all people, first performed in America. His first concert was at the Troubadour. It's a
The Troubadour? Yeah.
very famous club. And Tim and Eric filmed the Muscles for Bones episode there.
Wow.
And
Really?
I happened to bring a Beaver Boys hat to wear, and I took it off, and the cast signed the Beaver Boys hat.
What?
And I got Richard Dunn to sign it, who has now passed away.
So
Rest
you were
in
out
peace.
of filming too? That's so cool.
So they filmed the episode there, and it wasn't the whole episode, but it was the stand up comedian part. The whole performance, the whole Muscles for Bones performance was on that Troubadour stage.
Cool.
And when the naked guy gets out, you could see his ding-a-ling-a-ding-dong, and it
Forgot
wasn't
about
blurred
this.
out. You could see it in real life.
Great.
And then,
Yeah.
of course, they blurred it out for the show. And there's literally a 14-year-old girl in the audience.
No. Oh my God.
And so I think they broke some laws
Oh,
there, personally.
maybe. Yeah.
And then at the next time I went to their show, that guy had a black.
Shame on them.
He
Shame
had
on
he had a black square like attached
them.
over his
Rip the
waist.
shirt. I'm gonna burn
Oh
this
my
shirt.
gosh, you got a Decker shirt on?
The
Jesus
car.
Christ, man.
This is the
That's
car.
hilarious.
The K.
The car?
The car.
Yeah.
You see, it's cool because you see the K. It's like a mirror image here.
Well,
So it's like the mirror of life in a way. It's
Tim
like
Hyde
sort of a
Dakar is where it
very,
comes from.
very psychological, sophisticated band called The Car. And it's with an accent. It should have an accent right up here, but very cool band. Empty Bottle was a great single until they crashed their van and Tim was accused of murder for 20 people and stood trial and was found guilty. But
That's
then
fake. You're talking about a fake trial. It's all fake.
yeah, that's true. It is fake.
Okay, but if you use the M word,
some people get confused.
might get flagged. The M word thing.
No, it was a trial. Well, I mean, alleged. And it was they were.
What were we talking about? What was this even going?
Tim and Eric. You were talking about Tim and Eric, how you met them, and you went to a taping.
I know, but where was I going? What did that start? Where did that story start? What was the
we
point of that story?
Tesla in Paris, and I don't know. We go on tangents like that. It's fine.
It's
I'll
fine. It's
bring it
fine. It's fine.
bring it all home to
So,
a
I met
very
Tim and Eric a bunch of times.
yeah.
I like Eric better. David Liebehart likes Tim better
Really?
because David
Huh.
Liebehart said one time they were in the tour van, and he said one time he may or may not, and this is exclusive information.
Yeah, yeah. I got
This is some page 6 TMZ total rag nonsense
David
tabloid
Liebehart, page 6.
journalism.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
ignore this gossip. I'm not a gossip hound. Okay.
Okay.
I don't like gossip. It's not a good thing. But DLH said he may or may not have been flashed as a prank, a totally
Oh,
innocent comedy joke by Eric. I think he's
what?
just playing around. He's just having fun. It's
Probably.
just guys. It's just dudes. It's a
And it's
rock
David
star
Liebehart.
situation.
Yeah,
They're
David.
the motley crew of Guns N' Roses performers, and they're just doing their thing. Maybe they had one too many after the show, whatever the case, and things. Maybe maybe his seat is close to the restroom. We don't know the details. You know what I mean? But he said because of that, he's a fan of Tim over Eric.
There's, excuse me. What's revealing? All right, so I did a podcast called the Brent Weinbach podcast, which was Doug Pound's, DJ Doug Pound's co-host when they
Mm-hmm.
did Doug's podcast called the Poundcast,
Mm-hmm.
and they would have different people on. So essentially, I'm on the Poundcast that got turned into the Brent Weinbach show or Brent Weinbach podcast
Mm-hmm.
that I was on. I was one of the first guests, which is really cool. But it's
Mm-hmm.
but what's funny about it is I was trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to talk about my mobster uncle, great uncle, right?
Okay.
That's in Wikipedia, and he only wanted to talk about that. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I was trying to be funny, and he was like, it was so it's the only one of his shows that's not just like straight up like
That's funny. That's
anyway.
funny.
So, but like, um, I was on that show, and what was the point of that? But Doug, um, oh, I forgot. I lost where I was going with that already. Oh well.
Well,
I want to
uh,
say Adam's Lament before we go. This is an
so
old book.
so Twinkies. What are these? Candy canes? Twinkie candy
Oh,
canes.
wow, look at that. That was good.
So
Oh no, I'm sorry. Can I just finish? All right,
so
so you can.
gingerbread peeps. Like, what's up with that? What's the deal?
Oh,
What's up with
yeah,
gingerbread peeperinos?
that was good. Actually, I wish I could have those.
So you got I got the gingerbread.
Gotta re-
No, this is regular flavor peep ghosts. What's the deal with that?
They look good. They look good. I put them
You
in
got
coffee.
peeps butterbeer. Now I am going to
Gotta
save
try it.
one of these for the archive for
Hey,
10,000 years down the road, so future generations can see that Peeps butterbeer was a thing. They'll be like, "Whoa, Peeps butterbeer!
who
Whoa!"
was who was the guy that preserved these, grandfather? You know,
Well, I mean, yeah, it's going in the time capsule with the
well,
Peeps
like
ghosts, Peeps
whoever
gingerbread,
finds
and
whoever what
the Twinkie candy
yeah,
canes.
whoever like chisels their way into your room or sorry house or whatever,
Yeah,
and
they're
like
gonna find
they're gonna find a gold
they're gonna
mine.
find Fanta, haunted
They'll find
apple,
duff. They're gonna find duff.
Beetlejuice Fanta, which I heard was a very disgusting flavor. And I never drank it. I just wanted it
You never tried
for
it?
the archive. We need it for the time capsule.
That is awesome. Anyway, yeah.
And
Oh, I
actually,
remember.
I do remember Dark Berry Dr. Pepper, the Jurassic World.
Ah,
I remember this actually being a good flavor, but I can't open this one because it's for the archive exclusively. We got to throw that in the old time capsule.
that's fascinating.
If
Flavor.
I don't know if you heard about L. Ron Hubbard and his steel engraved laser
That
engraved steel plates with every word he ever wrote. But
no.
this is Ginger Snaps Dr. I mean, not Dr. Pepper. This is Mountain Dew of all things. But I think it's
That's not,
equally as important as L. Ron Hubbard's laser engraved time capsule. And I think we need to put Ginger Snaps
if way
gingerbread
more.
flavored
Yeah,
Mountain Dew in the old time capsule
I think so.
because It's equally as important as L. Ron Hubbard's laser engraved
If I
writings.
think way more. I can't believe it has laser engraved writings, but I've heard
They have in the side of a mountain a
what?
nuclear blast prevent protected mega structure that will still exist in a million years.
No
And
way.
inside is all of the sci-fi novels,
What?
pulp fiction novels written, and of course the Dianetics and the religious stuff. But forget about the religious stuff. We got some top mega
Yeah, the
hits.
science. Yeah, yeah. All
Let me
those.
just
Yeah, and his music. You ever hear his music?
we got Final Blackout. We got To the Stars. Oh my gosh, there's one called
What?
To the Stars.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Oh
wondered
wow,
if there was
really?
a connection to
To the
the
Star.
To the Stars Academy and L. Ron's
Interesting.
book To the Stars.
And
We got
well, there was
Typewriter in the
there
Sky.
is.
We
Hold on,
got
hold on, hold on.
Slaves of
There is.
Sleep. We
Wait,
got
wait.
Battlefield Earth, of course. Battlefield Earth, best seller of all
I
time. We
love.
know that.
I love that movie. But Ad
Mission
Astra.
Earth series,
Yeah.
Fear, Final Blackouts. We got all kinds of amazing pulp novels, laser engraved in the side of a mountain.
You hear a lot about. That's pretty interesting. You hear a lot about Ad Astra. You've heard Ad Astra per
Yeah,
Ad.
all right. Richard Garriott, the creator of the Ultima series, that's his favorite saying of all
Oh, really?
time. Many times he'll
Oh,
have a note with his letterhead. He'll end every letter with Ad Astra.
it means to the stars,
Yeah.
and it was it doesn't come from Hubbard. It comes actually JP. It used to be the slogan of JPL, I guess. To
Oh. Yeah,
and
he's
and
huge
Jack
into
Carson.
rocketry. I think he's a co-contributor to SpaceX. He's huge into space exploration. His dad
That's
was an astronaut, and
wow,
he's one of the first, if not the
lucky
first,
guy.
space tourist astronauts because
Really,
he paid to
he
get
paid
there.
for it. Yeah, that's
He
amazing.
paid the Russians
Unbelievable.
30 million to go to
Way
the
cheaper
International
now.
Space
Yeah.
Station, and then the Russians paid NASA
Right.
supposedly 20 million. So they pocketed 10 million. And then Richard Garriott was part of, at this time, a Korean game company. See, he was snatched up as top game talent by,
Mm,
I believe, NCSoft, which might be a Japanese company.
interesting. I do remember the Doug Pound thing. If you want to go to a revealing episode, listen to the Poundcast that has Vera Drew on, who worked with David Lee Bahart and did like a documentary on him, kind of,
Yeah,
like, and tried
NCSoft
to do a show.
is a
What is
South
it?
Korean video game company. So Garriott, he believes in the companies he works for, especially
Yeah.
since his company got bought out by Electronic Arts, EA.
Oh, it did?
And so he sold it. I mean, he sold it. I
That's
mean, he,
pretty
he should
cool.
have held on to it because his company went up quite a bit after he sold it. But anyway, he knows stock is valuable, so he's recruited by NCSoft to actually help create Lineage 2, I believe. So
Never
Lineage
had.
1 was already a hit, and
So he's still working on games?
yeah,
Yeah.
he. I mean, I don't know these days. But this was in the after he left his own company. This is after he left Electronic Arts. He left Origin Systems Incorporated, which was just owned by Electronic Arts at the time. So he
See.
left them, and he signed like a 1 year non-competitive contract. So he had to wait a year before he created Destination Games. He created that, and instead of doing anything with Destination Games, he was recruited by NCSoft, who probably bought Destination Games. Who knows? But they just
Wow.
bought him as a talent. So
Wow.
he's working for NCSoft. He buys a bunch of stock. He bought $30 million worth of NCSoft stock.
Holy while working
It's
there?
yeah, while working for him. Maybe they gave him stock options. Maybe that's how they paid him.
That hey,
So
that's a
they,
risky, but you
so
can do
he,
it.
and then he's getting let go. And they
Oh,
forced him when he got let go. They
so
forced him to sell his NCSoft stock against
right,
his wishes, against his will. And so he later sued NCSoft and said, "Hey, I
right,
didn't want to sell. I wanted to hold on because now it's
right,
worth more." And
right.
so he did get a settlement of
Wow.
$30 million So
Good.
technically speaking, to an extent, he went to the International Space Station for free. Now he
Right.
really didn't. Maybe he went for 10 million instead of 30. Maybe he
Nothing.
got a discount. Maybe he went for 5 million instead of 30. Maybe he got paid, he got his paycheck, and he went to outer space with his paycheck. Whatever the case, he got a discount. He's a smart guy. He's a pretty smart guy, you know.
That's pretty cool. Wow, I didn't know that's through one lawsuit. It's amazing how much money one lawsuit will do. It's like,
Yeah.
I know this one guy lives is a client, no friends of my dad, but he was the lawyer, the litigator. Do you remember when 2000 they had the election Bush v. Gore,
Mhm.
and it went to the Supreme Court, and the U.S. Supreme Court looked at the hanging chads and everything like that. This
Mhm.
guy was on the Democratic side, and
Mhm.
but he did Microsoft. He did like a whole. He was David Boyes is his name. He did antitrust against Microsoft because
Mhm.
they were basically, I think you talked about this, like a monopoly. And they're like buying out things and antitrust stuff and like all this stuff I don't really know about too much
Mhm.
about, but a lot of
Yeah,
shady
that's when
practices.
Microsoft had to separate itself
Yep.
from some of its companies. The browser,
Yes, something like that.
it was too much of
Yep.
a monopoly. They couldn't package the browser with Windows anymore. They had to allow people to use other
But
browsers.
he
Netscape
beat
Navigator.
But the lawsuit took a while. But like this guy, David Boyce, from that one lawsuit, almost made, I think, $500 million
Wow.
from that one law. I mean, probably not because he had to probably pay off. I'm sure but like just from one
Mhm.
lawsuit against my, and then there were several others, and then there were like you know what I mean? It's just amazing how much money people can make off the law. But
Well,
anything else you want to talk about, or
for the movie, I do want to get in-person actors. If anyone who lives near Santa Barbara County, near Los Angeles County, near San Luis Obispo,
hmm,
that's as far north as I'm going is SLO,
really?
San Luis Obispo. As far south
Pretty good.
I'm going is Los Angeles. If
What's the
you're farther south than LA, I'm not going that far south. If you're farther north than San Luis Obispo, I'm not going that far north.
Okay.
So I'm basically
Not even San
Central
Francisco,
California, Central
not
Cal, Cal, whatever you want to call it. I'm
Ventura,
located. I'm
California.
located in Santa Barbara County, but I go to LA all the time, not as
Perfect.
frequently as I used to. When I was hanging out with David Liebehart, I would go to LA every other weekend
Wow.
for a couple of years. I would go there all the time. I mean, I hung out with David Liebehart many times. I went to Chili's with him twice. I went to Jack in the Box with him. I went to Carl's Jr. with him. I've
Hmm.
been, I mean, it seems like it just involved fast food or whatever the
He
case,
loves
but
it. Yeah.
I mean, we were friends to an extent, as much as you can be a friend. And I consider him a friend slash acquaintance, and I really
Yeah, why
hope
not?
he can still be in the movie.
Try to get a
I
hold
got
of
to
him.
talk to David personally.
Yeah.
The last time I saw David, he handed me his business card, which of course, and this is David's
Really?
fault. This is
Pete,
David.
I'll be saying hi. Just
He's handed me easily 5 of his business cards. So the last time he saw me, he gave me at least
it's so annoying. It's
his most
awkward.
updated one. And let me tell you, all
Without even
5 of the
saying
cards he's
hi.
handed me, all 5 of the ones he's handed me, was a piece of paper cut himself. So he'll have his business card on a 8x10 and
You'll
he'll cut
remember it
them
because it's cheap.
himself. He
Yeah,
doesn't
you'll
go to a
remember.
business card company. He doesn't go to, and it's no
That's
big
so
deal. It's no
glad.
big deal. And I have it around here. I actually have his business card. I
No.
found it like 2 months ago. I found it.
How is it
It's
still intact?
he has so many phone numbers. I know he had at least 3 phone numbers at one point, and he'll be on tour in Australia. He'll be on
Right.
tour in the UK because his manager actually does a good job
Get some gigs, yeah.
of getting him gigs worldwide.
Yeah.
Because
He wouldn't be able to make a living.
maybe Germany is more big into Tim and Eric right now than Minneapolis.
Yep.
He'll be
They
in
often
Germany,
are.
and he'll
I
be in some tiny pub in Germany, and they're paying
yep.
him. So he's there, and he's like, "Wow, I want to visit the German train museum."
Why not? Yeah.
And he's
People are
basically
still
said,
getting hip to him. Like I saw this girl, pretty antisocial, Haley, who I love out there.
Mhm.
Shout out to Haley. But she was like, she's like, and she's Southern. She's like, I can't believe this popped up in my timeline. This is what my timeline's been like. And like reposted I think it's Salome, obviously,
Salome.
or like I'm in love with an insect woman, maybe one of those. I remember showing it to my best friend Justin, who when I made my first YouTube video died the day I made that video, and it's
Hmm.
me playing the Eyes Wide Shut music, opening a Bible, doing a response to you on the flat Earth thing,
Hmm.
and my friend died that very moment or around that moment. Anyway, but Justin was really cool, but he loved like the stupid like the other parts of Tim and Eric, he was like, yeah, whatever. But
Hmm.
the part with David Lieberhart, me and him, especially the insect woman, and there was one where he's saying email, yin yang, yin yang, yin yang, yin like email, yin yang. Like it was just it and it's online. Like it was too perfect for our sense of humor. It was just like
Hmm.
the funniest, like whoever, like we needed more of that. And so I love David Lee Bart. Like he's one of those people. Same thing with Karmic X. Same thing
Hmm.
with any really funny person. They're funny just from being who they are,
Yeah,
without
David
like
definitely
acting.
improvs.
You know? Yeah.
David improvs. He is very close to what you see on Tim and Eric in real life. I mean,
Hmm.
he said many funny things to me. I'm a fan of his, but I'm also a friend slash acquaintance. I mean, he would see
Yeah.
me as an acquaintance, but I did get him to call me my name and not that dude. Uh,
Oh, really? It's just that
After
dude.
hanging out with him like 20 times,
That
he
dude.
still wouldn't call me by my name. He called me by a
Who?
nickname, and I'm not going to tell you what the nickname is. So when
Why?
I see him, this is classified top secret
Oh,
information. I don't like the nickname. I don't like it.
really?
But he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. Obviously, he's invited and he's happy. I took him to a company picnic. I drove to
Yeah,
LA and
that's
drove
a
him to a
hilarious
company
story.
picnic.
Hmm.
He took an extra plate.
Yep.
Uh, I've driven him to the bank. I've driven him to the storage facility. I've driven him to the Verizon wireless store. So I was like his personal taxi all those times.
Yeah,
I
I
understand
remember.
that, but I'm happy to be his personal taxi for a day for him
Yep.
to be in a scene. I've written 2 scenes for him,
Wow.
and I'd be lucky to get 1 scene out of him. And I already know this is how it went with the YouTube video. I was promised that we would have Denny's at 11 a.m. And if I bought him breakfast at Denny's, he would do this
Dennis.
YouTube
I
video.
love Dennis.
So I'm outside of his apartment at 11 a.m. And he's like, I'm not ready yet. So at 12 p.m., he comes out. He's like, oh, I got to pay my storage unit bill. So I
Wow.
drive to a storage unit facility, and he's like, oh, I got to go to the second storage facility. So we go to a second storage unit.
No way, man.
And then he's like, you know what? I gotta go to the bank. I gotta go to the Verizon wireless place. He was at the Verizon wireless place arguing with the manager for 3 hours.
Mm.
3 hours.
You sat in the car?
I sat in the car eating a bag of almonds for 3 hours.
God.
And by the time it's ready to go to Denny's, it's like 6 p.m. And I told him, the sun's going down.
And you're
I wanted
hungry.
to film when there's some sunlight. He's like, don't worry about it. So we go to Denny's. We can skip that. I buy his
Go.
meal at Denny's. And then we get to the park near his apartment. And the sun is literally setting in the video. You can see the sun like shining behind his head.
Hmm.
And it's like almost 7 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
And man,
Good
I'm
light.
surprised at 7 p.m. that there was sunlight. But
That's
he
cool.
pushed it to the very end of the
Yeah,
sunlight.
he's exhausted. Yeah.
From 12 to 7, he had me working as a taxi driver. And he is a friend, but he always wants equal compensation. And he knew I couldn't pay him a lot of money, so he used that. And I'm actually happy to do that again if
Yeah.
he wants to be in the movie. It'll benefit both of us.
Yeah.
I wrote some decent scenes, some good scenes, and I think he would
It's a
be great. I
win-win
wrote
for
the scenes
David.
specifically for him. I even
Yeah.
got a wardrobe, two wardrobe pieces specifically for him
Wow.
that I'm even willing to give him after the movie. if he wants. And they're
Oh,
train
I'll
themed.
hear it.
He's a huge train fan, and he
The
loves trains.
band, the
He loves
band.
any trains. He loves Union Pacific. He loves all these different trains
Oh,
in
okay.
real life. He's just obsessed with trains.
So
One
does
time
Thomas Shelby.
he asked me to create his eBay account so he can buy these train hats. And we bought two, I think,
That's
Union
so funny.
Pacific train hats. He's like, I don't want one, I want two of them. So we bought two of these train hats. And
That's
then,
so
of
cool.
course, he never used the eBay account ever again. Just a one time use. But
Oh, he's a
I
character.
created his MySpace page. I, we have Adam
He
Papagan.
did.
Like
Yeah.
Adam Papagan was basically his bandmate slash manager.
Right.
And after Adam, we have Jonah. Jonah is his current manager that I know of, unless he's moved on. I don't think so. I think he's still with Jonah. So I was hanging out with David and made his MySpace before Adam, even
Right.
before Adam Papagan, way back in the year 2007, 6,
Wow,
six,
MySpace. Yeah.
seven, 8, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there.
Before that.
So
Yeah. Right.
I said, hey, do you have a MySpace? He said no. And this was when MySpace was it. There was nothing else. There was only MySpace and
So cool.
nothing else existed. There's
Right.
MySpace and there was YouTube. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't have a MySpace. Can you make a MySpace for me? And I said, I guess so. Do I have permission? You want me to put your songs up? He's like, yes. So he gave me a couple of the
Permission.
CDs, and I ripped the songs of those CDs and I put it on his
Put on
MySpace, and they were
MySpace. Yeah.
only his gospel songs.
Oh my
They
God.
were only his gospel music. So I don't know if that MySpace still exists. I never deleted it,
Funny.
but I created it, and it was the first official
Check the way
David
back
Liebehart
machine.
MySpace. So that's how
Yeah.
far back I go back with David. I mean, I'm more of a business acquaintance, but
Right.
I mean, I hope he will do the movie. We will see. I really,
He did. You know
if
who you
he
might.
says no, the movie's still moving forward. I'll try to get
Yeah.
someone else, but no one can really fill his shoes. It
True.
would be it would not be as good, I have to admit.
Yeah. Well,
But
it'd be a
we'll see
win-win.
what happens.
Yeah. It'd be a win-win for David, I think, and like he was someone who you might want to talk to or learn from or something, or just watch what they do and work with him. Is Vera Drew, who did a movie called The People's Joker. That actually
Okay, he was
he
in
was
that
in.
movie.
He
David was
plays the
in that
Raj
movie,
al
right?
Ghul. So how she was able to get him and film him for and with makeup for like that's a art in itself to get
Mhm.
him to do that and deliver
Yeah.
line. Like he's tough to work with, I've heard.
Mhm.
Like you say and talked about, like, you know what I mean? So like how she did it, I mean, you might, well, I don't know, you could reach out to her. That's
I
the
mean, if it
last
wasn't for
thing he did.
me, Dave Liebehart would have never had a phone conversation with Val Kilmer. I
Oh wow.
personally set that up.
They had a
I set up
conversation.
the phone call between David Liebehart and Val Kilmer. That's the
They when did they
that's the
talk?
that's the biggest Val Kilmer
Wait a
connection I
second.
have in life, other than some of his amazing pieces of art, which
They
I will
talked?
show in the movie. I am going to show them. They're not going to shoot me down. They're not going to say, "Oh, you owe us $10,000 for showing his art." I think they'll be happy.
That's so cool. How did he like? So he just picked up the phone,
So
knew
this is
Val.
what happened. David Lee Bahart kind of lives in fantasy land, okay?
Yeah,
In a
so
good way,
yeah,
not in a
in
bad
a good
way,
one.
in a good way, kind of in an innocent, anything's possible way.
Yeah,
So this is why David Lee Bahart was on The Daily Show. This is why he was on Tim and Eric. This is why he was in that movie, because he keeps
absolutely.
his mind really open in that regard. Whereas other people will be jaded and really kicked to the curb in Hollywood. David Liebehart most definitely has been kicked to the curb, but he's still
Yes,
not jaded after all that. David has been in LA since like the 70s, and he was on Good Times for 1 second after they
he
promised him
was.
he would be in they promised him he'd be in an episode of Good Times, and even I was like rolling my eyes, like, of course you were in Good Times. Thanks for the info, dude. And then finally converted one of his VHS tapes, and he was in Good Times for 1 second. He was in it. He was actually on Good Times. He was.
That's amazing. I didn't
They
know
have the
that.
credits rolling, right? The Good Time. The show's over. The episode's over, and David walks out, and he's like, I think he's either holding a newspaper or he's just looking at the cast, and he's just looking around. He was not in any of the episode that I know of. Now, they would have showed more if he was. So they let him walk with the cast, just being a friend of the cast. Maybe they cut his part. Maybe they cut it. But he was on one episode of Good Times. And so he has a really good resume. He was on many, many shows, usually for 1 second. So he's been kicked to the curb in Hollywood for many, many, many years, never given full roles, no, never given full this and full that. I want to give him an opportunity. I want to really showcase his abilities. He's kind of a Tommy Wiseau type of guy. You got to write the part just for him. I would be happy to have Tommy Wiseau in my movie, but of
Oh,
course he wouldn't be in it. But
why not?
I can reach out.
Yeah.
This Val Kilmer story. David has an
I'm a
innocence.
model aware.
David has an innocence. One day I was in David's apartment. We were gonna go probably do freaking chores and drive
Keep
him.
going. I need to grab a water. Keep going. I got you.
Okay. So David said, "Hey, can you give me the phone number?" I think David brought it up. David said, "Oh, I'm a Christian Scientist." I said, "Yes, I know, David. You told me many times. We've literally been to the Christian Science Center in Los Angeles next to UCLA. I was there with you. I drove you, remember?" He's like, "Oh, yeah." He said, "You know who else is Christian Scientist?" Val Kilmer. And I said, "Yeah, I know. He's famously also a Christian Scientist." He said, "Can you give me Val Kilmer's phone number? Can you get it?" And I said, "Probably not. He's pretty famous, dude. I don't have access to Val Kilmer's phone number. I'm just a person. I've never had any contact with him. I don't know him personally." He's like, "Well, go online and get his number." I'm like, "That's not going to happen. I can't just go online. Maybe I can get his agency or a publicist. Maybe I can get
Why don't you? Yeah, you go.
but good luck talking to him. They're going to say he's busy. You know what I mean?" But he's like, "Give it a shot. Try
Not
it."
the easiest. Yeah, it's true.
So I Googled right then and there. I Googled, Val Kilmer's phone number. And I got a website. Val Kilmer was selling his New Mexico ranch. Because that was, at the time, the only official Val Kilmer website I could find in this Google search that I conducted. Right there, standing in David's apartment. I probably did it on my smartphone right then and there. So David was like, "Is there a phone number on the website?" I said, "Yeah, but this is just for a real estate agent that's going to ask if you're interested in buying his multi-million-dollar ranch in New Mexico." He's like, "Well, give it a call. Give me that phone number anyway."
No way.
I said, "Okay." And so I wrote it down. I handed it to him. I gave it to him. And literally, I did, we went to probably freaking Taco Bell, and he got me 2 tacos for 99 cents, and he kept one and I kept one. And so I got a 50-cent meal off of him, and we both drank water cups. We both asked for a water cup and drank water.
Oh, I
And
know that.
one freaking, that's how he's like, he promised me he'd buy me lunch that day, and that was the lunch.
Water cup.
Anyway, so the next day I'm in a different town, and then it had to be the next day. David calls the number. He calls the Val Kilmer number.
Oh, he
And
did not.
he said he got an assistant, and when he told the assistant he's Christian Scientist just like Val Kilmer and he just wants to talk with him real quick,
wow.
Val Kilmer actually said, "Okay."
That's a good angle. No way.
Val Kilmer said, "Okay, put him on." Because they're the same very obscure religion, Val Kilmer actually had a call of the number I handed David, and he said, "We talked about Mark Twain. We talked about Mary Baker Eddy." And David doesn't retain information perfectly. So David told me about the whole conversation. He said that he's planning a Mark Twain movie, which he was. He was planning Mark Twain movie. He said he's planning a Mary Baker Eddy movie, which I never knew. That's news to me. We didn't know that. That never materialized. That never manifested. But that'd be interesting.
I think in the last year it did. I think something like that. But yeah, wow.
This was before Val got his throat cancer. This is before he got the throat cancer, so he could speak perfectly on the phone with him. This was many years before the throat cancer.
Hold on. Time out. Can you imagine this being a sketch comedy or a skit where it's like David Lieberhart and you driving or something, and David Lieberhart's like, "Oh man, get him in touch with Val Kilmer." You're like, I don't know, and then all of a sudden, somehow, a phone call at the end, okay, yeah. And then he's like, tell him I'm a Christian Scientist. And like the chair turns and it's Val Kilmer or something like that. And he's like, put him through. And like, and like something back or something, you know what I mean? And like he comes up and then he's like, David, I'm Val. Nice to meet you. And they have this somehow amazing conversation. Go on, please tell us. What did David say that Val said they were talking about Mary
It's
Baker Eddy,
basically that he's doing the one man show for Mark Twain.
which he
And so
did,
I knew the conversation really happened. He told me real details that hadn't even happened yet.
right? That's so
Um,
cool. So
Based on that information, I actually went to the Halloween store and I bought a Mark Twain wig and I bought a Mark
I
Twain
love Mark.
corn cob pipe and I bought a
That's
Mark
where.
Twain mustache and I was
Yeah.
gonna do some Mark Twain skit that I never did.
Oh
I
my
have
God,
I have ideas to do things all the time that they don't always follow through. One time I bought Michael
one of my
Jackson
favorite
gloves,
writers.
a Michael Jackson hat, and I was gonna do a Michael Jackson skit. Never did it. Um,
Uh,
but anyway,
Mark Twain is one of my favorite.
so Val Kilmer did
Talk to David
genuinely have
Levi.
that conversation with David out of the kindness of his heart. They're both Christian scientists. Val really stuck to his beliefs on that. And I was lucky enough to get a piece of art that
Yeah,
says
yeah,
something on it. And I looked it up. It's a weird saying. I never heard it. So I
Hmm.
Googled it. And it's a quote from Mary Baker Eddy from a book,
Oh,
and it's a
right.
quote from a chapter where Mary Baker Eddy is talking about death.
Oh,
And so
wow.
I believe it was a very important phrase that
You're thinking
Val
of it.
was reading while he
Oh,
knows he has cancer and he's going through a hard time. So he's reading
love
this
that.
comforting book, and there's a quote, and I want to use the quote in my movie personally. I want to put it in the movie. It's
Yeah.
so out there. It's such a interesting quote. It's straight out of a Christian Scientist book, and my movie has nothing to do with Christian Scientist. I'm not a
No,
Christian Scientist, but knowing that it inspired Val
sure.
Kilmer, I want to just put it in there. I'm a fan of
That
Val's.
is cool.
Tombstone, he was phenomenal in Tombstone as
No,
Doc
he's every.
Holliday.
He was in Masked and Anonymous, actually. That the script I was telling you, Bob Dylan
Mhm,
wrote. Larry Charles from Seinfeld, which we
mhm,
began the podcast talking about. So it all comes full circle, which is pretty cool. But
mhm,
like, yeah, Val plays like sort of like a prophet almost guy.
mhm,
But he's brilliant. And Val and Bob Dylan are like tight, supposedly. And like
mhm,
Bob Dylan's a big thinks Tombstone is like one of the best films, or the
mhm,
best Western at least, to Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan was in one by
mhm,
Sam Shepard, a damn good one called Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid with James Coburn and Chris Christopherson, which are
mhm,
they're brilliant anyway. But Dylan's in it as like this very bizarre character called Alias, meaning AKA, right? So
mhm,
then years later he writes Masked and Anonymous. So it's like identity and who he is, he changes constantly. He's changing himself. Like so, if someone put together some Japanese brilliant person put together little miniatures of Bob Dylan throughout like his album covers. And you just see the morphing and the changing. One he has a cowboy hat. This one he has a this and then that, and he's with this. So it's fantastic. And Val, like much respect for Val. You're lucky you really got the art that you did. And David Liebehart talking about that's news to me, and I think everybody. So that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, Val, he was huge into Mark Twain. I've always been a Mark Twain fan,
Me too.
personally. I
Me
love
too.
Mark Twain. I read Huckleberry Finn very young,
Yeah,
and
I didn't get it at
Val
first.
was so big into. Well, one of the reasons is because Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens, knew Mary Baker Eddy in real
That's
life,
right. I forgot about
and
that.
he liked her. And even though he
Right.
didn't like religion, he liked her. And
Right.
so that's one of the reasons Val probably liked Mark Twain so much. And
He was
that was
born with
what
a
the
comet.
movie would have been about. That's what the
Yeah.
Mark Twain movie would have been about. It would have included the Mary Baker Eddy story,
I
something
came,
that's usually never connected with Mark Twain.
I came across very slim book at the library one time. It couldn't have been more. It was a companion to the Ken Burns Mark Twain documentary. All right,
Mhm.
and Ken Burns is famous from Western Mass. He does like baseball documentary and It's like 9 parts, the Civil War, and he's famous for and stuff. But he did one on Mark Twain, and you rate it, and like you open it up, and it's Haley's Comet,
Mhm.
and you're like, why? You know. But then you continue to read, and you realize he was born on with Haley's Comet, and he died with Haley's Comet. That
Mhm.
alone is like, whoa, like
Who
okay.
died? Who died with it?
Mark Twain, he was born and died with it. When he was born, supposedly. Tell me if it's wrong or not. But the first page of this Time Life, I mean, PBS famous
Well,
bio.
I saw Haley's when I was super young.
Did you really? Yeah, like it was me too.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I
saw
didn't
Haley's
see
in
it.
the '80s.
Like
So
he was born with
theoretically, I can see Haley's twice. So
So
if
he
you
was
saw it
born.
twice, it is possible. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
see it twice
he
if
did.
you're
But he
young
died.
enough to see it.
He was born with it and died with it.
That's cool.
Which
I mean, I
so
can theoretically see it twice. I might live it long
it's
enough to
cool.
see it twice. It was a
I love
big
to see
thing in the '80s. It was very big.
it.
People talked about
85, I
Haley's
think, or something like
Comet
that.
for months before
Yeah.
it happened.
What was a big
When
thing?
it
It was a big
happened,
thing even.
I remember looking at it through a telescope, and I'm like, okay, let me get
Did
some
you?
astronaut ice cream.
I missed it.
I'm more
Yeah.
interested in that astronaut ice cream than I am the Haley's Comet.
What did it look like? Did you remember like looking at it? Like did it like
Yeah,
what did
I
it look
saw it through a telescope. It looked like just a comet with a tail.
like?
I
I've never
mean,
seen one.
it wasn't extraordinary. It was just a comet with a tail. I'm like, okay, cool. Give me,
One of
let
the
me get
best
some,
things.
let me get
Look,
some freeze dried ice cream. Yeah.
yeah. We used to, I remember like once in a while they would bring over to like a big telescope that you could look through from the university or something, and they
Mm-hmm.
would set it up. And when Jupiter was in like, I remember Jupiter was really close,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked through that, and you could see the red spot, and you could see, I think moons, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
Ganymede and Io, and not and those, but they were big moons. They're bigger than like I don't know if they're bigger than Earth, but they're big and they're
Mm-hmm.
weird. And so uh, if I was like, oh my god, it seemed really real. Like, oh my god, they look at that body. Like the universe is like it's not, or even the galaxy. It's not like dead. Like I don't like science fiction films where it's like outer space, like Star Trek. There's like nothing in between the planet. There's the planets and the life forms, and that's it. But space itself is like just teeming with like this like force of life. It's more like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it seems like more like dynamic than that. But yeah, man, seeing Jupiter, like I was obsessed. I did like a project on it, and I found out that Galileo, the inventor of the telescope, one of the first people to use it, used Jupiter as the crest of the House of Medici, who are the Italian noble people who were in Florence and in power at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
were the banking family to the popes and stuff. They have extremely powerful family. Commissioned all this Renaissance art, and were the head of the Renaissance. Have several TV shows named after him and stuff. But their crest is a big circle with each other little moon, the Ganymede, Io, and the others, the four big ones anyway, or something like five, I think it is, I forget. But they're
Mm-hmm.
circling the king, Cosimo de' Medici, and his four sons. So Galileo came out with that and gave it over to the Medici. The Medici, in return, gave Galileo whatever he wanted for scientific research. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool. I don't know. I'm a big nerd about Jupiter. I love telescopes. I love planets. I think space is pretty freaking cool. I know we talk about it. I know your dad was an engineer for NASA. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
really important for the human imagination to look up in the sky and think on a
Yeah,
cosmos.
people are saying that, oh no, they canceled the moon landing. Well, obviously the people commenting on the moon stuff know nothing about NASA, know nothing about any of the missions
No, they
because
don't.
they were never going to land on the moon. They were just slingshotting around the moon.
Oh, it is right.
They
Oh,
were
cool.
never going to land. This mission that they've been preparing recently, as of
Oh,
recent time,
really?
recently with the team of, what was it, 4 or 5 or whatever, they were just going to slingshot. They were never landing.
Oh,
There's
cool.
always slingshotting. And so they announced that they're going to try to land on the moon in like 2 years, something like that, 2028,
There's no
something like that.
reason.
So
Yeah,
the landing announcement is a totally
send a
separate
robot.
mission. It's totally separate and disconnected, not the same mission, different
Yeah,
mission, possibly different astronauts, different mission. But
yeah,
they are postponing the slingshot, maybe due to concerns. I mean, everyone's concerned that it's going to be the Challenger mission time, 2.
yeah.
No one wants it to
That's the
explode.
thing. That's the risky thing. It's like,
That's the
do you
risk.
really want a huge? Yeah. Do you really want to risk human life for what? Something a robot can do?
If
Land
they
on the moon?
postpone it for 2 months, do what they got to do. I mean, they're just waiting for perfect weather. I think they're still going to
Everything.
do the slingshot. I don't think it's canceled. I don't know the
But you
details
could
on
send a
that.
robot. You know what I mean? But like, I remember bringing up to my older brother.
They
You know,
should definitely. They should send multiple robots to build a base. I
I
don't
think
see
so
why
too.
not.
Oh, that'd be a cool idea. AI, whatever. Oh, that'd be scary maybe. But um, I remember saying to my brother, like, why send a person? Because he was adamant about wanting a man to go back to the moon and land on the moon
Hmm.
or Mars, and he was adamant like you got to have a human to do it. I was like, why? What like you could do it with a robot? You know, I had been reading a lot of waste of money stuff, right?
Hmm.
Communist stuff, basically, and it just infected like the universities. But I read, I was like, why? I was like, you can get a robot to do it. And he was like, well, he's like, just say you did it, you know, to say human achievement. You know what I mean? It's a human achievement to put a man on the moon and for, to say, so like inspiration, you know what I mean? I was like,
Hmm.
wow, you're right. So it is true. Like, I think it would do a lot and it would, you know, I cannot believe there are people. Now, the moon is anomalous for sure. It's weird. Yes. What it is, probably part of the earth. Uh,
Perfectly round
Perfectly round, blocks the
to the
sun like it does.
extent where it can be called a planet. Someone on Art Bell once said that we don't have a moon; we are a double planet, and I thought that was really cool
Oh, kind of interesting.
because
It's
we
true.
are a double planet. The moon, if it was in its own orbit, separate from a planet, would be big enough to
That's a good point.
to technically be considered a planet.
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
That's
Well,
pretty
so there's
cool.
some people that don't like they think it's whatever it is. They think it doesn't exist, right? And those
I
are the
mean, I think
people.
it's pretty crystal clear that God put the moon exactly where it's at. So when there's an eclipse, it
Yeah.
perfectly, I mean,
It's
mathematically, that's
incredible.
pretty unlikely. Mathematically, it's
Maybe it's
pretty
got to be
unlikely.
some divine way in which the universe works, but
Hmm.
for it to be now, mind you, that's from a human perspective like that eclipse type thing happens. Like from any other point of view from the universe, it might not look that way or could not happen. So it's just like designed in that way. And it's like, why? Okay, is this the law of the universe of gravitation, of centripetal force that we don't know about? That, maybe the light has but, but it doesn't follow that like lizard people built it. You know what I mean? As a prison,
So
as a
everyone's
prison for like
everyone's saying
Jim
Jim
Carrey.
Carrey is a
Yeah.
clone.
Oh, you read my life?
Just as a joke, might as well finish on Jim Carrey not being a clone.
Let's do it.
I mean, first of all, Jim Carrey, maybe he got Botox, maybe he
Did
just
some
got
surgery.
old. Maybe
Yeah.
he had LASIK surgery. I mean,
All the
whatever the
above.
case, it's still Jim Carrey. I mean, people expect people expect Jim Carrey to
I
be
know.
on 24 hours a day, on 7 days a week. But this is
Yeah.
Jim in France.
Right.
This isn't Jim on the Norm podcast. This is
Right.
Jim in France, and so he's going to be less on.
Being
He's
honored.
in a tuxedo. He obviously
Take
respects
it
this
serious.
French award show more than the Oscars
I think.
because he was on his best behavior. You
Well,
know,
it's a different society, and it's like and you noticed what I noticed is he spoke a lot of French with the interviewers.
yeah. He
So
said he
he
practiced for months his acceptance
right,
speech in French,
he
and he
really
said he made a few mistakes,
it
but he
shows.
he said they respected that he tried and actually gave a real good
It's
effort.
a beautiful language, man. And once you like you do pick it up like that, and he did
Mhm.
a good job because he is Canadian too, and like French Canadian is a thing, but yeah, people
Yeah, I'm
saying
gonna
that
try to have some French in my movie, just
you
a
should.
little
There's
bit, a little bit.
un poquito, yeah. It's a little bit. Um, it's good to have like the way that he just described things. Like the joie de vivre, meaning the reason for living, the zest of life and stuff like that. Like
Like
simpatico.
I've literally posted, he aged, and when you age, you look different.
Yeah.
There's this thing called
So,
time, and after time passes and years go
no,
by, you're not going to look identical from a movie from
yeah.
20 years ago.
Well, it's just
And when I
people
posted
again.
stuff like that, the responses I got 9 times out of 10 were, "You're delusional. You're an idiot.
Really?
You're not using your brain. Use critical thinking, man." And then there'd be one comment saying, "Obviously, I mean, these people are morons. Just ignore them.
Yeah.
They're idiots." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yep, that's." I mean,
Yeah. Well, it's not
I
all
don't know
anything.
why people in mass quantity. Some are doing it for the memes and the jokes and are literally
Some
joking
of them are
around. But
literally
like
trying to
half of
stir stuff
them
up.
are full blown padded room insane asylum straitjacket. We're
Yeah.
talking the internet has exposed the world to how many crazy people actually exist in it.
You did
Right.
describe it really well in one of your tweets. Let me pull it up here. Let me see if I can get to it because it is really good.
I mean,
Describing
we see it.
everything.
We see it every year. A new celebrity is a clone. Well,
Right.
every year a new celebrity is 1 year older, and maybe they fell in hard times. For all we know, in the past 2 years, there's been a lawsuit. There's been personal tribulations in his life. Maybe he drank a little bit. Maybe he got plastic surgery. Maybe he got a different haircut. Some people say, "Oh, his hair's different." You can change your hairstyle, but his hair, it's just minimally different style. I mean, his eye color is different. I mean, his eyes appear to be
Right.
hazel. And on a scientific level, I tried to say, hey, hazel eyes do change from time to time. People with a certain hazel eyes, hazel is just
That's
someone with the brown eye genes and the blue eye genes,
what I
and
have.
they sometimes merge. And instead of having brown eyes or blue eyes, hazel is the in
What I have.
between color, and it's both brown and blue. That's what hazel
What I
is.
have.
It's actually brown and blue mixed, and it looks green sometimes, and it looks
In the
brown
light. Yeah.
sometimes. And it actually, I have
Cool.
seen someone with hazel eyes. Sometimes they look like they have green eyes. Sometimes they look like they have light brown eyes.
That's
It
me, dude.
changes.
Yeah.
They change eye color, specifically hazel, changes from time to
That's
time.
me. That's definitely me. My brother has the same thing because my dad is completely blue eye. My mom is deep brown eye. But all right, this is your tweet. It says the insane asylum, padded room, straight jacket peeps are at it again. Apparently, Jim Carrey isn't Jim Carrey anymore, but an imposter clone. The world definitely needs more asylums for such. They can learn about the well-documented scientific fact known as aging. If you're not following John on Twitter, what are you doing? This is hilarious. Erasmus
Uh,
at Erasmus. I mean, that was your tweets are really good, man.
they
That
don't
was
know
really.
about aging. I mean, aging.
It's just aging. Yeah, it's just it's dying your hair. People do stuff like they get surgery when you're in
But
LA.
I see the same thing
What
on
about a
even on
little
YouTube.
work on your eyelids? Like Brian Callen's had surgery. Stallone has surgery. I mean, everybody.
I see the same thing on YouTube. I'll load up the old youtube.com arena and I'll check the comments maybe once every year. You know what I mean? I don't obsess on them and I don't care about them. So one time I didn't load them up for like 2 or 3 years. One
Mm-hmm.
time I let them roll for 3 years before even looking
Wow.
at them.
Right.
So I loaded it up, took a look, and someone said, "Hey, this is old information, man. Like that isn't the news story of today." And they're commenting on a 10-year-old video and they're saying that it's not up to date. They're saying that I don't have the newest information on a
Dude.
10-year-old video.
Yeah.
And I see another
I'm
comment.
a teacher. I see
I see
this
another comment.
television
Hey, man,
going.
blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And whatever they're saying, they're talking to a 10-year-old me
Right.
as if I'm still that 10-year-old person.
Right. Right. 10 years ago. Yeah.
And
From then.
they have no
No,
concept of time. They have no
I have to
concept that this
say,
is an old video from 10 years ago. They have no concept of it.
well,
There's a lot of
can I
kids
just say,
today, they think everything is now, and a 50-year-old movie was filmed 2 days ago. They
Isn't
don't.
that
It's very strange.
very, it's very strange, and it's a loss of empathy because they can't put themselves in the shoes and their reading comprehension. I almost did my own video on this for my own channel
Mhm.
as a teacher, seeing where kids are in terms of reading comprehension, in terms of attention span, in terms of patience, in terms of behaviors, in terms of every measurable standard that you look at in terms of math, reading comprehension, you name it, tracking, ability to read a book. Um, it's at levels I was at I was a good reader, but I was in a special program, whatever. Who cares? It wasn't that special. It's just everybody
I
had.
think there's definitely a de-evolution taking place in
Well,
some
it's different,
places here and some places there. Who's to
but they,
blame? What's the reason? Is it genetic? Is it DNA? Is it what is on TV?
uh,
I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't
but
know.
I'll tell you this: it's like the thing that really like because there's I'll tell you what's telling is that and this is going to be a problem, and it already is a problem. But tell me if you see this too. Is as a teacher and somebody that's educating like the next generation that come up and stuff like that, and raising kids and stuff like that, and having nieces and nephews and stuff, um, is like I'm afraid of like not afraid, but like simple things and like it just comprehension, how to read something and interpret it. Like you said, like perfect example. They think that that YouTube was created just a minute ago for them right then.
I know.
And they're
Yeah.
commenting as if that's the case. And
Yeah.
I've run into this time and time again where I'll have a lesson and let's say it's on World War One. All right, World War One, blah, 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 blah. Here are the notes. In there is the answer. Perfectly easy. Anybody, I could do it in fourth grade probably. Get the answer, figure out the answer. All you have to do for this lesson is write in a complete sentence. And there was a federal mandate or something like that, that somehow there's a contract with Google gives free Chromebooks to each student. If you sign up for it, the federal funding, they will give you free Chromebooks for every year for every student. So they become super dependent on that Chromebook. And that Chromebook is used to just, which I'm using right now, used to just distract from the entire world. It's just they use it for these stupid games, and then that becomes a thing, and then blah 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 blah. But it's being monitored 24/7 by the company, you know what I mean, or the school. So, but like they're attached to it. So anyway, there's the therapist and I thought that it would be good to try to introduce meditation, right? Just a
Mhm.
little bit, not even that much, like David Lynch talked about and did
I
with.
was going to mention something about meditation.
Okay, just real quick, I'll just say this real quick. Like meditation, we introduce a mindful minute, just 1 minute of silence. That's it. That's it. That's it. You know, just it. I'm with the seniors and the most like the star students of straight A's, supposedly the greatest, like most star, coolest leaders, and really good otherwise students. All right, here comes a minute. Within 5 seconds, not even 5 seconds,
Mhm.
somebody had to crack a joke. Somebody had to say something, and then another person, and then bang, and then that
Mhm.
was it. It was over. Within 5 seconds, these are leaders. These are like the best of the best, the cream of the top of
Mhm.
that age group. Couldn't be silent with themselves in a group for 5 seconds. They need that stimulation
Mhm.
24/7, and that's gonna mess you up, man, brain wise, and it's gonna create a
So,
society of freaks, dude. I don't know what's gonna happen.
E.A. Coetting, he said that he goes out of his body all the time. He said there are meeting places outside of your body. He
Right.
says in the astral or whatever he calls it, they always have different names. But
Yeah.
he said basically in the astral realm, he's not E.A. Coetting. He's not
Interesting.
Matthew or whatever. he's not Eric or Matthew or whatever
Eric.
his. I can't remember what of his
Eric, I thought. Yeah.
Eric. Yeah. See, I can't remember what his regular
Pretty sure.
his government name is. I can't remember.
I don't know.
He said, in the astral, my name is Archilus.
Whoa, cool
His
name.
name is
Oh,
Archilus,
Archie.
and people know me by Archilus in
Yeah.
this astral place. He says he'll go to the same place.
So
He'll
weird.
fly there, and it's a meeting place.
Real
And
place.
he says he knows these other people, but he only knows them in this astral universe, in this astral dimension, and he only knows them astrally, and he knows their astral names.
Astral Watch, yeah.
He said he may or may not know some of them in real life,
Right.
and he said they may or may not be alive, and so on and so forth. But we see. You were talking about that place that they go to. I mean, it's believed in Buddhism. It's believed in many different. I mean, even the movie Beverly Hills Ninja, Chris Farley goes to something like that in a comedy.
Does he?
In a comedy set. He has to master his ninja-ness, and he goes to this place where he can talk to his master.
Oh yeah. Okay, gotcha.
And so that's the same concept.
Well, then Lord Josh.
It's a pop culture concept. It is an ancient concept. Whether you can scientifically do it every single time or not, I don't know.
Doctor Strange, yeah.
I may or may not. I believe when I go to sleep, sometimes I can go to some astral realm, but there's no way for me to prove it. There's no way for me to prove it's not a dream.
No, the only way you can do it is to tell your friend or somebody that, and this is what I used to do. I'll meet you there, and I'm gonna say something that it's gonna be out when I'll only know it.
But I haven't been able to prove anything like that.
When I say it I have. When I say it in the dream, you're gonna repeat it to me tomorrow. Like, and it was like very Inception like sort of thing, and some reason
I can't believe even your story though, personally, unless you have a documented.
No,
I have to keep you on the same level that they would keep me.
Absolutely.
I have to keep you on the same level as
I can't prove
Keith Richards has a story. Well, did you film the before and the after in a documentary scenario? If you didn't, then it's just anecdotal. It's an anecdotal story.
It is anecdotal, but admittedly, but I used to be able to will dreams. So I used to be able to, but it was always what I was influenced by at the time. So I loved Peter Pan at the time for whatever reason. Neverland and Hook, the movie Hook, I loved it so much, and it still holds up. It's such a cool movie. But I love Robin Williams, and like he kind of looked like my dad. This whole thing. But I saw that movie like 12 times. I was obsessed with Peter Pan. When I fell asleep, I really did go to Neverland or something like that, and it felt like from Hook. And it was obviously that was influencing my dreams and subconscious, but I was able to go to that place every night. But there was no friends around. There was nobody new that could say, "Come back. I saw you last night." That's happened a couple times where a friend and I have seen each other in a dream, but where it's usually in close proximity. Like it's like I'm already friends with that person. It's not like just somebody. And maybe once in a while, I think sometimes we have dreams that end up prophesizing or coming to fruition in life, and we call that deja vu. We just it's like, whoa, I've been here before. I don't know when or why.
Well, I did have a shared dream once. I had a shared dream once, so I know shared dreams do exist.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you super quick. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So I was in a dorm room with 3 other guys, and I can't tell you where it was. I can't tell you when it was. Telling you when and where it was taints the story. Okay. So I'm just going to skip that and consider this anecdotal. I didn't film it. I didn't record it. I didn't tape it. But I know personally shared dreams exist.
Oh, I know this story.
You've heard it?
Well, you made a video of that, if I'm not mistaken.
I probably didn't tell the location and the place.
You did. Well, I kind of know, I think, but yeah.
Okay, don't tell if you know, because I don't want the place and the details out, because it changes the perception of the story.
Does it?
So I'm in a dorm room with 3 other guys. We're in bunk beds.
The dorm. Yeah.
I'm in the bunk bed to the right. there's a bunk bed to the left, and there's four guys.
Oh
I
yeah.
was on the was I on the top?
Oh,
Trying
I
to think.
forget. Yeah.
I was I in the
Don't
top
know.
bunk or was I in the bottom bunk? I think I was in
I
the
don't know. I
bottom bunk.
forget that part.
I think
Yeah.
I was the bottom bunk on the right. It was the
Okay.
bottom because everyone wants the top, and
Right.
they already were
Do
there.
they?
I was
Wow.
like the last person that walked into this assigned dorm
Oh
room.
yeah.
And so
I
the
got
three guys already picked out their three favorites. And I
wow.
got the last pick, which was the bottom bunk on the right.
I
So
had my own.
I'm just giving these details because I'm relating a story that actually happened.
Yeah.
So, I go to sleep, no big deal. Wake up, we do our things, whatever. We get back, go to sleep. I can't remember if it's the first night or the second night. To be honest, it was one of the early nights. It was either the first, second, or third night. I stayed in
Wow.
this. I stayed in this particular dorm room for I think only 2 months.
Hmm.
So it was a limited place. It wasn't
Hanging
like
out.
it wasn't like a college with
Transition, like
with
a thing. Yeah.
with 6 months or anything like that. It was a very
Right.
small period of time, 2 months
Short
in this
term.
place. I didn't
Yeah.
know these guys, never met them before until we were assigned to the same dorm room.
Hmm.
So they don't know me. I don't know them. I can tell you one of them was greatly hearing impaired
Okay.
to the point where his alarm clock vibrated because he couldn't hear
Oh
beep.
wow.
So
Oh,
that's just a tiny detail. Uh,
poor thing.
these roommates really existed. They're real people.
Yeah.
Um, so the guy, I think the one I shared the bunk bed with, I'm pretty sure he had the top. And he was, oh my gosh, he was obsessed with telling outlandish tales. He claimed that
I would have liked him.
he claimed he was almost signed by the Cincinnati Reds, and he
Oh,
mentioned the story every
rare.
day. He would shake hands with everyone. The Cincinnati Reds almost signed me.
Right.
That was like his go-to line. He would tell everybody, and
I know
I'm
people like
pretty
that. Yeah,
sure
yeah. I
he
was
made it up and is a big fat liar.
could have
So
been.
that's just the
You
gist
can
you
check
get
that.
from this guy. You get kind of a car salesman gist from this guy, and he was obsessed with the
I was
Cincinnati
signed
Reds.
by the Cincinnati Reds.
Of all things, he also said Tupac is still alive.
Well, that's true.
He
That
said
happens to be. That's
Tupac is
just a
still
fact.
alive. So
And
that's just a
he
tiny
knows where he
detail of
is.
this guy. That's like the
Yeah.
last thing I heard from him. Tupac is still alive. I'm like, oh my
Some
god.
people believe
I
it.
was like, okay, dude, whatever.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
So
I think
anyway, as far as the other guy,
I wish he was alive. That'd
I
be kind of
think
funny.
the guy on the bottom was the impaired, and the guy on the top was just maybe a regular straight laced guy. He was kind of
Yeah.
regular straight laced. So we got a regular straight laced, hearing impaired, kind of a pathological liar above me, and then me. And that's just the
Yeah.
personalities of all four of us. Four different guys, real human beings, actually existed.
Yeah.
So
But you're in
I go to
proximity
sleep
to
either on night one, two, or three. I can't remember, but I think I did write it down. So somewhere in a journal is a date and weird dream, probably next to the date. No
oh,
details,
what is that?
but the dream reminded me, and it was a nightmare. And it was, I told you on a previous podcast, the freakiest dream I ever had. So this,
Yes.
this
I
wasn't as
keep
freaky
thinking
as
about
that one. This wasn't as freaky as that one. You can downgrade it a little bit. This is maybe the second freakiest dream I ever had. Maybe number two, maybe number
it.
three.
Right. What was it
But
again? I forget.
it's up there. It's up there as one of the freakiest. And
Hmm.
this dream, I've never had a dream like it in my life. It was 100% a demon dream. Now, this dream reminded
I wonder
me
if it's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
this dream reminded me of the scary tunnel scene in Willy Wonka.
Oh my God.
Just with
Yes.
worms and eyeballs
Yep.
and worms.
Just
Worms,
disgusting.
eyeballs, worms. That's pretty
Yep.
much the entire dream, but it just
That's
kept
demonic.
going.
Yeah.
It just kept going and kept going and kept going. All I saw
Yeah.
was
Never ending. Yeah.
saw like
I've
worms,
been there. That place.
maybe
It's like
maybe a skull, maybe an eyeball popping out of a skull and
it's
worms.
like yeah. It's like
And what I
organs and
saw
stuff.
was like a swamp,
Me
like
too.
maybe mud and worms and
Thick.
eyeballs. It was
Thick.
disgusting and very
Yeah.
generic. It was almost
Yeah.
like stock footage. If you're gonna
Right.
get creepy stock footage for a horror movie,
That's what it is. Yeah.
it,
That's a good point.
it was pretty generic, and it's
That's
nothing I
demonic.
would have thought of in my imagination.
That's demonic.
So
100% in my opinion.
I had it. I might have woken up from it and then went back to sleep. And I don't think it continued after I woke up and went back to sleep.
Oh,
But I woke up the next morning
ugh.
and I made it a point to ask all three guys in the dorm. I said, "Did you have
Yeah,
a?"
dude.
I said, "Did you have a freaky dream last night?"
What they say?
And guy above me said, "Yeah, I did." I asked the hearing impaired guy, "Did you have a freaky dream last night?" "Yes, I did."
Really?
I asked the straight laced guy, "Did you have a freaky dream last night?" And we're all in the same room at the same time. We're not like out and about.
No, right.
All
I get
four
it.
of us are still in the room.
Proximity. Yeah.
And the three other guys are like, "That's weird." The three other guys are like, that's unusual. And they went
They
about
don't
their
care.
business and they went about their
Right.
day. But me, I was like, wow, that is not
That is.
unusual. That's not unusual. That's psychotically, extraordinarily
Yeah. Well,
improbable and almost impossibly unusual. That is above and beyond a shared dream. We all had the same horrific,
that's
generic eyeball worms dream.
that's what
That's
I'm
not
talking about.
normal. So this is what happened. A freaking incubus,
Yeah.
demon, dream demon, negative spirit went from person to person, giving us the same dream,
Yeah.
proving that that scenario exists and that's a real thing. And
I
incubus,
wonder.
in a real on a real level, actually are entities. They do exist. That's the only proof I have that they exist, and it's anecdotal proof to you, but it's
Yeah.
solid proof
No,
to me.
no, 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 no. Because like I don't know. There's something about the like you say the details. It's never changed the story as far as I know. Like it does sound the same. I do forget the organs and the eyeballs and the. But
Yeah.
I have seen that. Unfortunately, I think like I've actually come across not patients, but clients, I call them, or
Mhm.
students or whatever, therapy. Used to be a therapist, so work with a lot of like people who have psychotic problems and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
So that's what they see. With
Well,
some people with
that's kind of like
OCD, that's what they'll have
freaky.
what they
That's
call
freaky.
intrusive
Never seen
thought.
that before. I've never
Look
seen
up
that ever.
hold on. Look up intrusive thoughts. My I'm not going to say who, but somebody that you met that's related to me, that's older than me,
Hmm.
um, that you met and was a jerk to you.
Hmm.
When he doesn't take his medicine,
Hmm.
his mind sees that constantly in
That's
real life.
freaky. That's
Like
freaky.
like he'll
You know,
look at my
it's kind of
he'll
a
look at
generic thing.
he
Obviously,
tried
they
to
have it in the Willy Wonka movie as like a jump scare for the Willy Wonka movie.
like the
Because
centipede.
you think it's a happy chocolate candy
Right.
movie, and then you see that, and you're like,
Oh
"What's
no,
going
that is
on?" It's
freaky. I
freaky.
remember
But
that.
it's a cool
That's
tool
cool.
used in that movie.
It
It,
is
it gives the
psychedelic.
movie some mystery, and it's probably why
Is it
people like Marilyn
raining?
Manson like that movie because of that scene. Probably, I heard Marilyn Manson's a
No.
fan of Willy Wonka.
I am too. I like the book. I remember the Charlie and the
I'm a
Grateful
fan of the
Last.
movie. I love Gene Wilder. He's
I
the ultimate
I love Roald
Willy
Dahl,
Wonka.
Roald Dahl, whatever the guy that wrote the book, and a lot of other great books. He wrote a lot of like classic kids book. What's the one that what's her name was in as a little kid? That's taught in like every school. It's one word, Margaret or whatever. She's a little school kid, and
Hmm.
it's Mrs. Trunchbull or whatever. It's the
Hmm.
bad teacher that science teacher or something like that. Teachers are often painted in a bad light, which is funny. But like, yeah, man, like
The like on South Park in one episode, it kind of reminded me, but it's different. But just the concept was similar. One time, Cartman closed his eyes on South Park, and he
mhm.
saw like death and murder.
Really
He saw like we're
bad
talking
stuff.
stock footage from World War II of marching individuals with particular things on their
All
arms,
right, that's not
and,
even that's like lower
and
than
like burning and death and skulls. And then someone asked Cartman, "What do you see when you close your eyes?" And they showed that, and Cartman's like, "Oh, just the same thing I always see." And he doesn't tell them what he's seeing. It's a
no
joke. It's a
way.
joke.
I've
But that's
another
pretty
show I
freaky.
haven't
That's pretty scary. I mean, it's not the
seen.
same thing, but it's the same concept. But I've
Another
never
show.
seen anything like that ever, except for that one night I had that nightmare, which was shared among four roommates in that
That's
one
very.
place, in that one
I think
dorm.
we can share dreams in proximity if we're in proximity to each other, and
So
we're all
I
giving
even
off.
told. I even told the three guys after
I just
we admitted we all saw the same dream. I told the three guys, I think it's a negative spirit going from dorm room to dorm room to dorm
could
room.
be very
And
much
all three of them were like, whatever.
eating. Yeah, they don't.
And they didn't want to follow up. I was almost going to go to the room next door and ask them,
Ask them to. Yeah,
but their skepticism caused me to just
not
forget
do
about
it.
it.
That's what happens all the time, right? It's like people just whatever, and then Newton's. I think or some. I think the great scientist Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, said something like, you know, what did he say about intelligence? It was something like, finding extraordinary in the ordinary, you know, and actually like in Chomsky, who I did an article with in this paper here for the Bertrand Russell Society Quarterly. There's Noam Chomsky there, really great linguist and philosopher, but also a political activist. And I did you can look this up online, but that there it is for the record. That's Brandon Young there, baby. Noam Chomsky. I don't know if it shows it. Let me think here. But well, I'm just happy that we're keeping the podcast alive. I know we're still working on getting better, and I think we're gonna keep sharing some cool stories. I hope people find it interesting and on some level, or for the future, for some reference. We always have a podcast to go to. We're taking guests all the time. If you want to guest, get in touch with us. Follow us on Twitter at Rasmus at Brandon Young 82. That account is private. DM me and I'll send you to the real cool alternative account I have.
So
Which yeah.
my YouTube is at
Oh, yeah.
MGIC,
That's
and
so
all you
easy.
got to think of is magic without the A. The A is at the beginning at MGIC, and my channel primarily focused on time travel investigation and ghost hunting, but we're open to all kinds of cool subjects, anything,
Yeah.
and I am focusing on the movie. I got to focus on actors in person. I'm making so many props, so many fictional brand names and signs, and
That's all.
um, there's going to be just wardrobe pieces. And yeah, I got to get China involved because China cranks out some custom stuff on a great
Cheap.
level.
Good. Yeah.
This hat is from China,
Is
but
it?
these glasses are actually from Switzerland. These
No
are
way.
these are officially, that brand Swatch
Yes.
watches.
Love them. Yeah.
This sunglasses are from the Swatch,
Oh,
Swiss
cool.
Swatch watch company. They made
Very
Swatch.
cool.
They made Swatch eyes for a very short period of time. So I love the Swatch
That
sunglasses.
is awesome. Those look cool. Do you have many other ones? Do you have different colors and stuff?
Yes, I collect specifically this style,
Watch
which
sunglasses.
looks
That's
like
very cool.
it has
Oh, that's awesome.
it has like a spring in the middle for no
Wow.
reason. I like the no reason spring. It's just hilarious to me.
That
And
is nice. Though. What the
has
heck?
leather on the sides with a cool pattern.
That is very
So
cool.
I got these for
Detail.
the movie, and they're going to be in the movie. I have easily 7 more pairs, but this is
No
the best.
way.
This is the best pair I got. I'm trying to get a blue pair that looks like this, a blue variation,
It's
but
amazing.
someone bought them all. Someone snagged them all. I'm not willing to pay hundreds of dollars. I'm going to wait for a cheap one to pop up.
Wow, Swatch eyeglasses. That's pretty cool. So
I know
you got
David
you
Lynch. I know David Lynch wore Swatch watches because
did
his estate sold 2 of them, and they
yellow.
sold for thousands of dollars.
Did they sell? Yeah. Oh man,
And they're
this
like
kid is good.
broken and old. I'm sure they work if you put a battery in it, but
But they were selling like a bill payment that like he touched once. They were selling like air. They were selling like
well, it's
bath
the
water.
it's the daughter, and I understand
I no,
she couldn't
believe me.
afford the estate, but
Give her all the money in the world. I
give
don't
her all
care.
the money from all the knickknacks.
That's fine.
The dad wouldn't mind at all.
But the stuff was kind of. It was like what I mean. It was like
I'm
like
super surprised at the prices. Like
a little bit of milk.
here's a paper clip from the junk drawer,
There was
$900.
there
Like
was
what?
Yeah, it
Here's
was stuff like
here's David
that.
Lynch's monitor. He may or may not have never used, sitting in the garage for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
$5,000.
Yeah, here's the junk we want to get rid of. Yeah, we're gonna sell it all.
Just
Like,
be, I mean,
but like,
it's a testament of how many people loved David Lynch and still love him.
they did
That
have
they're willing to
furniture,
pay $10,000 for a piece of junk that was sitting in his garage that he just
and
owned.
the
His
good.
Are they going to put a plaque on it? David Lynch's piece of junk. I mean,
I know, right? I
it's
mean,
what it
really.
is, you know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, on all right. On that note, you're gonna keep watching Twin Peaks. We're gonna have a Twin Peaks probably
Yes.
second every
I'll
episode.
give an update on my thoughts. I mean, I love the show so far. It's quirky. It reminds me of a soap opera
It is. Yeah.
that isn't
Exactly.
boring and
Right.
doesn't focus on the normal crap a soap opera focuses on. Instead, focuses on the interesting stuff and cuts the boring stuff out. So I think he was inspired a little bit by soap operas or
Yes.
the cruddy work, TV shows of the day, but instead made it good. So I
That's right.
like it. I like it.
He worked within the genre and pushed those limits as much as he possibly could. Like the topics that they introduce from Majestic 12 and like all, I mean, you'll see. But like
Obviously, David Lynch was obsessed with Tibet and the Dalai Lama because
that too.
Agent
Yeah.
Cooper is obsessed with that. The level at
Oh,
which
that's
he's
right.
obsessed with it is almost the cliche level. So now I know people that cliche love the Dalai Lama and Free Tibet may have just secretly been Twin Peaks fans. You know, who
That's
knows?
a that's an interesting thing to think about too. How did that work its way in? Because yeah, in Dale Cooper's intro, now I'm remembering in those first couple episodes, you meet Dale Cooper, and then Dale Cooper is like you see like he talks about what does he talk about? Like not being a monk, but that he's like he
He
does something.
says, you know, he heard the Dalai Lama lost power of Tibet, and he's forced to live in other countries, and
That's
just
right.
basic Wikipedia information on the
Yo, but
Dalai
back then,
Lama.
yeah, yeah,
But it
yeah.
wasn't commonly talked about by anyone
Right.
in
No.
America on
Ah,
TV back then. So I can see him introducing the subject to a lot of people, you know.
the Agent Cooper character is cool because he's like he's got a foot in both worlds, very grounded in like cherry pie and coffee and the comforts of a diner. That's almost like a Hobbit thing. That's like the comfort of like
He's
the fire.
obsessed with coffee. His obsession of
Yeah,
coffee
it's
is
awesome.
so funny. It's
It's real too.
hilarious.
Well, David's like, and then some of the stories that you see, I think in episode one, so I can spoil it, of the fish being in the percolator
Yeah, David said it's based on a true story.
based on a true story. And
Well,
like,
but it wasn't
so,
fish. What was it?
oh, right.
I can't remember what David changed it to. He said it wasn't fish in the real story. I can't
Oh,
remember if
what
it was.
was the real? We'll look at. I'll look it up
I don't
later.
know if it was
But
a rat,
do you know
bug.
if
I
yeah,
don't know.
some no, it wasn't. It was an animal.
It was not fish.
Right. No, it was not. What
But
was it?
here's a factoid for
Oh,
David Lynch fans.
it was a
So
fish.
someone was invited to David Lynch's house, and that must have been a great honor. Only like mega
Yeah.
celebrities were really, and not just
Well,
celebrities, but just people who he trusted. You know, it was
you
a
hear his
very
music.
rare honor because he
Yeah,
was a little bit of a hermit. You know, but he would invite people from time to time. Do you want to meditate with me? You know, that's a pretty big honor. So
absolutely.
at one time a celebrity was invited over to David Lynch's house, and he said when he was alone, he snuck into the kitchen just to see what brand David
Well,
Lynch bought, what brand of coffee
yeah,
that
yeah.
he drank on a regular basis. Not
What was it?
not going to Denny's. All right, it wasn't Denny, was it? It was Big Bob's Big Boy. Bob's Big Boy was his
He
place.
went every day.
Every day he would
Every,
have a coffee and a
oh,
chocolate milkshake at Bob's Big Boy every single day.
I thought it was like a. It wasn't cherry pie. I must. You're right. I think it
I
was
mean, it
chocolate,
might have been
something like that.
various different things,
No, it's
but
definitely
he
that.
said he was 100% always a coffee
Big.
and a chocolate milkshake, sometimes never anything else. But I'm
Yep.
sure he had food as well, but
Just
that was the
coffee.
staple. It was always the coffee and chocolate
Coffee's
milkshake.
super important. He's right about that. I agree with
But
that.
so they knew he was obsessed with coffee because of Twin Peaks, obviously, famously. Even back
Absolutely.
then, he was obsessed with coffee. Damn fine cup of coffee.
Damn fat.
But they snuck into his kitchen and they're like, I gotta know, like, he's the king of coffee. He probably gets
Mm,
it imported from France or from Colombia. Like, he probably gets the most
what is it?
expensive stuff from another country. He's
Sure.
rich. This is a multi-million-dollar estate. He can get the best of the best. He's rich. He can afford the freaking Columbia. He can afford
Have
the
his own. Yeah.
he could have a mule with fresh beans on it if he wanted. So what is it? What I got another brand? He said, and this is some random celebrity, and I couldn't remember his name, but I'm sure he was famous in the 90s
Worked with him.
before
Yeah.
he was invited. You know what I mean? He said it was Dunkin' K cups.
No freaking way.
Dunkin' regular Dunkin'
Even
coffee
I
K
don't.
cups.
I have them, but I'm not drinking them. They're like the backup to the backup of the coffee I have.
Well,
Wow.
I've never had Dunkin' K cups.
They're from Boston. I
It's
mean, Dunkin'.
$10 a box, and I get the generic $4 a box.
That's fine.
But
That's
one
fine.
of these days, when the
Just try it.
payday is extra big, I will get the Dunkin' K cups just for David Lynch alone. I gotta know.
Good.
I
It's
gotta know what
okay.
it tastes like.
They have donut shop. They have different brands. Don't get the flavored one. Just get the original.
I've had it from Dunkin' itself, but I've never had the K cups. You know what I mean?
Depends. They actually have improved in a couple of years. When they first started off, they were okay. Then they got too exotic with all the different flavors and different
It
combinations.
was just the standard, so I'm gonna give it a
But
shot.
the K cups, like that's interesting because Bob Dylan too, like he dedicated when he wrote his book, The Philosophy of Modern Song, that came out like a couple of years ago, talking about modern songs. He dedicated it to the ladies who worked at Dunkin' Donuts, at certain Dunkin' Donuts. I forget where in America that worked. I think in the Northeast, possibly New England. That like while he wrote it, that philosophy of song gave him coffee and donuts or whatever he wanted. You know what I mean? So he dedicated the book to Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Uh,
And so there's something about it. Maybe there is something to it
just
now.
original roast. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, I get the original roast of the donut house, a donut shop if it's available. Donut shop is like the older, I don't know, that's how it's marketed. But yeah, just get that. All right, we'll keep up to date on that. And all right, be seeing you.
Be seeing you.
Next
Peace
time.
out.